What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Alex Cuesta Show. How is everybody doing out there on this Wednesday, November 19th, 2025? Dave, hi, you are here. How are you?
Hello, I am here. I am here very much, actually. I'm
I
ready.
hope I sound well. I'm going to a new mic. I dug out and figured out that I have a Blue Yeti, so I might as well use it because I know a lot of people use it. So let me know, everyone. If I sound like crap, I'll switch back to the Rockville. But if I sound okay, we'll keep it going.
Mhm.
That's what we're going to do here. So, how is everybody doing? We appreciate everyone that's watching wherever you're watching from, whether it's YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, Kick, all those good stuff. Make sure you like, share, follow, subscribe, all that. Do it all. And if you're listening to this later via podcast form, it's probably much later because I've been absolutely freaking terrible about getting them up in the podcast. So I'm going to try and be better. I'm going to try not to suck, but this might be later and hopefully will still be relevant by the time that you're listening to it.
Yeah.
So a little bit of housekeeping. I don't know if anyone's noticed. If you go to the YouTube, you go to the Rumble page, there are a lot more videos popping up, a lot more shorts. I'm working much harder. Dave isn't doing jack anything. He's doing shit. But I'm working harder. I am making videos. I'm trying to put out a video a day, trying to throw a bunch of shorts up there. So if you enjoy what you see, make sure you subscribe to both of those so you will always see the daily video. And it's typical to what we do here. We talk politics, sports, nerdy stuff, anything,
Yes.
culture, all that. So it's a smorgasbord of things. So if that's what you're into, you'll find something there. I will be talking about it. I'll more than likely be wrong, but I will be talking about it. So the last time we had a guest, Dave, we got to officially talk to Side Effect, and we had a good time
Yes.
talking to him. We talked about all things in the music industry and being in Hollywood. And even though Side Effect isn't a household name yet,
Mhm.
he gave us a really good insight on the way that the life works when you're living out there, when you're doing that stuff. So it was a great, great time. But this week, I'm excited to bring on a repeat guest and a gentleman who forgot that he talked to us. That's how memorable that we are. We suck.
Fair.
But
I don't win.
I'm pumped to have him on again. He is Mr. Ron Coleman. He is a lawyer, and he is
Never
the
spoke.
host of the ColemanNation podcast. Ron,
Never
what's going
spoke to
on?
you. It never happened. It
Never-
never happened. Prove it.
Dave, pull it
Prove
up. You know, actually, let's pull it up. Dave, go
I
pull
could
up
pull it
the
up.
episode. You can pull it up on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. At that time, I believe we were only doing audio, so it went out later. It was I don't know if it was live
you just
stream.
another guy on the phone. I'm a visual guy, you know. I'm all, you know. 'Cause that's why I'm so popular on Instagram.
I think the AI wasn't good enough yet to ever try and like emulate Ron Coleman at the time. So the moment we start hearing you speak, you will know it was you. And I don't know, you might have been a different person from 2 years ago than you are now.
See, that's the thing with me. I'm pretty much the same person since the 1960s.
That's a good thing, actually. Not changing could be good and bad, right?
You
Depends
got
on
to
what it
grow
is.
up a little bit. You got to develop, but
Yes.
you know.
Right. So you are a man of
guys.
everything. You know a little bit of everything. So we are going to have a good time talking about a ton of fun stuff. So we're going to start off, Dave. The first thing we want to do, though, is we want to give an update about somebody in the podcast and content creator space,
YouTube space.
YouTube space. Nate the lawyer is an individual that has been very popular in the law tuber stuff. He became pretty big talking about a lot of that stuff. And he's genuinely someone that if you want to know about the law and things like that, he's fun to go to. He has good takes. He knows a good amount of everything.
And he's a great guy.
Great
He's
guy.
a great guy.
Mhm.
Yes. And he is currently under the knife. They found a brain tumor. And we just want Dave
The
pull up
size of a Buick.
It was
Yeah.
huge.
I just wanted to bring this up because Legal Bites put this out an update at 8:09 p.m. So about like an hour ago.
Yeah.
But you said that the surgery expected to take up to 15 hours. So apparently they're still on track.
Yeah.
According to the updates that she's been getting. So pray for him. Whatever
I did not see that 15 hours business. Wow.
Yeah. He said, I think he said 6 to 10 in his tweet about it before he went under.
Listen, because you know what? Why tell him the truth?
No, yeah, well, yeah,
exactly.
But
he's going to be sleeping through it.
Yeah, from this update, it sounds like everything's going well. I don't know if anything else has happened recently, any other updates, but for right now, everything's going well. So very good news. I just wanted to give that update out there.
So we'll keep praying for him. And obviously, you know, all of us in the content creator space, anyone that has ever seen Nate the lawyer, knows Nate the lawyer, we're all praying for him. And, you know, it's just crazy real quick, like the beauty of modern technology, though, because the fact that they can keep a man's head open, working on the brain for 15 hours and still confidently keep him alive, even though there's a lot of risk, right? Confidently keep him alive, all the blood that's being lost and everything like that. The modern technology is an amazing thing, and we really hope it's fully successful, that Nate becomes cancer free after this and can continue to come back to the content creator space. He brings so much to the table. So, Ron, do you know
Amen.
Nate personally? Have you talked to him and everything like that?
I texted with Nate yesterday, and just telling him, wow, what a surprise, Nate! They found a rock in your head.
Yeah.
Fun, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I've got to say this much: he could not be more chill about this. I mean, there's a man. Remember, people forget that before Nate became a lawyer, he was a cop.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's a man in full, and he really seems to, I mean, the pictures that he's taken with other law troop guys, who drop by, that. And frankly, look, you if God forbid you have something like this, you definitely want to know as soon as possible.
Yeah.
On the other hand, when you get whisked into emergencies, you don't spend weeks and months fretting about it.
Yeah. And the thing is, when you have something like this, like obviously there's two different types of people, but I like Nate's approach where it's like, what is he going to do? Right? Like it's there, it's happening, it has to happen. Fretting about it, going crazy about it is not going to change the fact that you got to go and get this taken care of. Right. So it's the best way
This is why no women watch your show, Alex.
I don't think I'd be very entertaining for women anyway. And I'm not that good looking. So David might work better. Hey, everyone, David's single. And that's why we bring Ron on. We bring Ron on because Ron's a good looks.
I realize. I mean, listen, whenever people make fun of, thoughts, I say, look, am I going to pretend that I didn't get to where I am today
without you
on my looks? Come on.
Yeah, exactly. you use what God gave you,
Absolutely. So I'll say this: Nate has been a bucket list guest of ours, I think, from the moment we started. So if and when Nate pulls through, we will then start badgering him belligerently to come on this. No. If this ever gets you, get better soon. If you ever want to come on our show and bring your ratings down, go for it. But no, we just want Nate to pull through, and we hope that we pray for him to have everything go well. So quickly, Caveat Ty's coming in here saying, I know Ron from WDW Pro and X. And Caveat also saying, I remember seeing Nate on Mercator's stream watching Kyle Rittenhouse trial live. Yeah. I think
I was on that stream too. Yeah. That's how I met all the guys.
Yep.
That was a wild experience. That was really great streaming history. I mean, we really got to be part of the story. And I myself had not at all been familiar with the world of streaming at all, and certainly not law streaming. It was Joe Neerman.
Yep.
Who's been my friend and neighbor for 10 years or something. Just turned me onto the whole scene.
Yeah.
And it, I got to, people, since some people had heard of me, I got a little bit, go a little bit to the front of the line in terms of getting onto the panel. That was wild. And what was really cool about it was we got to watch a trial together, a bunch of lawyers, and really talk about, is that judge got his act together, or is the prosecutor really doing it? Are there enough, enough objections? That was a great experience.
That was fun, just being able to watch like the Rittenhouse trial and then the Johnny Depp trial, just being able to see a bunch of people and the differences in terms of the legal minds, right? And the way that the concepts were coming in, what each person was thinking was about to happen. And, this person's big. This law, this, like, it was from a layman who knows nothing about law. It was cool to see a lot of people that have that knowledge come together. And then, I forgot about that law. Okay. I forgot about that trial. Like, it was cool just to see it thrown around.
It's kind of funny because, that was really one of the first times we ever seen like a whole bunch of lawyers get together and watch a public trial like that. Really cool. But it reminds me of just, when a bunch of people who really like entertainment or a certain show, and they get together and they watch like an episode together and you hear them talk about it. That's almost basically what it is, except now it's just a trial with lawyers. So it's different, but it's the same.
It was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah.
And it's like before that, it was kind of, if you were like into the law stuff with streaming, it was Viva and Barnes were doing it for a little while. The before
Right.
that,
Mhm.
and like a lot of people were turning to them, especially when it came to like Trump stuff and things like that, because they were really good on that. But then like the law tube stuff started to happen with the trials, and it's a good thing because I think it
Mhm.
got so many more people that are interested in law and things like that. Like we've had on law of self defense on and things like that with Andrew Bronca and stuff. So it's cool. It's very cool. I'm really happy that it happened. It exposed so many of us to a lot of good people and now great content creators. So
Mhm.
it's
And I
really
got
cool.
some clients out of it, including some of the people on that panel,
There you
That's
go.
awesome. That's good. That's good there.
including Nate.
Yeah.
So real quick, we have Nate Houseman coming in saying Psalms 30, 41, and 107 coming up. I'm here for it. Caveat Ty saying a bunch of lawyers walk into a stream. Sounds
Right.
like the joke setup.
Exactly. It just or what do you call a bunch of lawyers on on a stream? A good start doesn't quite work out, but
Yeah.
that's what I thought you would have found some way to make that work.
All right. So now let's jump into the nitty gritty of it because Dave, yeah, right before, like not even like a half an hour before we started the stream, Donald Trump put out a nice, big, long truth post
Yeah.
about him signing the bill to bring the Epstein files out. So I want to start off. We'll read that post real quick. And
I'm not
then
reading the whole post. This man wrote way
do
too much.
you want to do a synopsis? You want me to
Well,
read it?
yeah, I'll do a
We'll bring it up
synopsis
first.
because
Let's
he
bring
just
it
keeps
up.
mentioning Democratic congressmen and stuff like that, and it's not necessarily needed. I mean, for him, it's fine.
Well,
but
yeah, bring
like,
it up so
just
people
for
can
us.
read it if they want to.
Yeah. One, I just want to give Election Wizard the shout out.
Yeah,
This is
Election
great.
Wizard. Thank you for that.
But basically, the synopsis is that he's saying
I
he
love the way
signed.
Trump tweets.
I know. Put out a wall of text here, but he signed the bill to release the Epstein files, and he's basically pushing it on the Democrats, saying this is a hoax, and they've been working with him, and he's just been a lifelong Democrat, not only a supporter, but someone who has given money to all these people, and with Plaskett actually texting her
Which is so funny.
while things are going on. So it's basically him going on the offensive about this while saying he's going to release the Epstein files. So this is all coming to a head now. I wonder how this is going to end up. At this point, I'm kind of wondering if there's going to be a huge nothing burger, which is going to be very interesting if that happens.
So I have not taken a good look at this, but my impression from 10,000 feet is what is this law doing?
Mhm.
It's against the law now to release sealed, judicially sealed files
Mhm.
or certain grand jury testimony.
Yeah.
Investigatory files. When we say it's against the law, that means that you can make a law.
Mhm.
Congress can make a law that says we're going to carve out an exception. Now, this strikes me as a really, really terrible way to make policy.
But
here we are.
Yeah.
But here we are. And what seems to be interesting, and we already saw it beginning last week, is that the Democrats somehow have been trying to sell this as something that is harmful to Trump. There's no there. That's going to be obvious. To the contrary, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the first example you gave, it's blowing up in the face of Democrats. Guess what? Epstein was a Democrat.
Yeah. 100%. He was a big Democrat donor. And on top of that, the thing is, and it's been said by conservatives, and no Democrat leaning media is going to say it, but for 4 years of Biden, while they were trying to put Trump in jail or trying to keep him from being president, if they knew there was anything in there to actually place on Trump, they would not have held it back.
Yeah.
That's the biggest smoking gun, to know that there is nothing to actually implicate Trump besides knowing Epstein, flying on the plane a few times, but nothing nefarious that could be linked to him, his family, or anyone that truly runs in his inner circle. Or, we might see some names pop up in cabinet members, right? Or people that are close to him. That could be possible, right? But I don't think anything directly implicating Donald Trump is there. And I think it's going to end up being a nothing burger in that sense, because the leftist media is not going to cover it in the way that they're supposed to at all.
Just how? What was the thinking? I mean, they know that all the smoking guns. I mean, so the thinking was no thinking at all.
Well, I would say
you go on, Dave.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I would say the play from them, because really the whole Epstein Files releasing thing was from Trump's base first. Like,
well, he campaigned on it.
Yeah. Well,
so,
it wasn't like a huge thing that he campaigned on, but
it.
He did say he would release it along with, JFK and all that other stuff. So it was first the Trump base that was going on about the Epstein Files for pretty good reason, to be quite honest. But the Democrats saw basically the messaging errors that were happening with Bondi and Cash and stuff like that. And they were trying to jump on that train, probably thinking that it would never happen, that the files get released or that the emails get released. Right. I think that's what they were doing. They were trying to basically divide Trump from his base by using the Epstein stuff. And this, what Trump really should have done the whole time, and not, like I said, the messaging error is what really hurt Trump for a little bit. But
100%.
But just saying, release the damn files, like it's just going to happen. And now it's blowing up in the Democrats' face.
It's going to be really interesting. But not only is it a bad way to make policy, it's also a bad policy. I don't really know what they're going to. Well, there are names of people who are alleged, perhaps, I don't really know.
Yeah.
They're going to be people who have been alleged to have been guilty of some
nefarious acts with, yeah.
They haven't been proved to be guilty. I mean, it's a bad policy to open up investigation files. But I'll say this much. This has been so poorly handled by the government for so long that perhaps this is the exception that proves the rule. That if the government, maybe we can say that if the government is going to take the responsibility and the duty and the trust that we repose in it to execute that duty.
Yep.
And do such a poor job with it, this will be the result.
Yeah.
Therefore,
the people speaking.
Do it right.
Yeah.
Because really, there's a gigantic problem with trust in the justice system
and everything.
As there should be, because they've been screwing us for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think we need to really, a few things. I agree with you on the precedent, right? Because now this sets major precedent for any showdowns going forward, where they're trying to get something unsealed in a major case. And now there's a bill here and a law where if anything ends up at the Supreme Court level and it's a unfavorable Supreme Court to whatever that's going, they're going to be able to use, well, we had Congress pass this bill that they unsealed high profile stuff. So this is similar. Precedent is here. It might not fully, but there's a possibility that it could be used that way if we have an activist Supreme Court ever.
Well, right. I mean, look, we have seen the depths to which judges will sink to rationalize whatever the hell they want to do in ways. I mean, that's always been true to some extent, but let's face it.
Yes.
We're seeing stuff that is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
But, any non-head injury or absolutely in the bag judge will see, well, no, what this shows is that you need to have a specific statute.
Yes.
And here there isn't one. But on the other hand, you're right, because guess what? There are public policies that, so it's going to be really interesting. I mean, I'm also just wondering what is this going to look like? How is this going to?
I had no idea.
How are they going to actually release it? Is it going to be anything? You know what it's going to be? It's going to be another one of those giant dumps, like that 50,000 page dump they did, the JFK. They're just going to dump it. There's going to be no highlights. And what we're going to get is a bunch of people saying, trust me, this is what it says. And then a bunch of people that follow them just, yeah, on both sides. We're going to be getting so much that there's and no one's going to be able to parse through the tens of thousands of pages they're about to
And
drop
keep
on
in
us.
mind just how much outright lying there is on social
100%.
media. I
Yeah,
mean, people will just
bad.
invent quotes,
Mm-hmm.
and,
I mean,
yeah,
Brock invents
Netanyahu
quotes.
said, let's drop a neutron bomb on all the goyim, and
Yeah,
there'll be a picture of him in the UN
Mm-hmm.
in 2009, and it'll look, oh, wow, he said, no, some guy in Pakistan just made that up. That's all. But all the,
So,
we're
I do want
sugar.
to go. I want to go back to what Dave said though, because like Dave said, this kind of rose up from our side, right, from the Republican side, the Trump base, because this goes back further to when the first term, and maybe back to Alex Jones when he first started talking about the island of pedophiles. He was talking about Epstein Island, and that was conspiracy, right? And then not too long before the first Trump term, we had confirmation that it was a thing. And it was all about, okay, we need to get Epstein, we need to get him behind bars, Ghislaine Maxwell. And that's where the fervor started. So I think this is
Well,
like
you know
Dave
what else,
said, the
though?
ball was dropped.
He was arrested.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He was charged.
Mm-hmm.
He dies in prison, either self-inflicted or otherwise.
Yeah.
And there's no accountability.
That's
The one guy everyone's looking at to see what's going to happen, and he dies in prison, and nobody, camera is off. I mean, just.
And
Mhm.
Maxwell's in jail for trafficking girls, but who did she traffic it to? Apparently nobody. Apparently just to Jeffrey. These countless girls were only going to Jeffrey Epstein on an island. That's it. We're expected to believe that with all the people that he knew, for the how many times the high profile people flew to the island, Ghislaine Maxwell was only doing it for Jeffrey Epstein. That's what they want us to believe at this point.
Well, I mean, that in and of itself does not beggar belief. Okay, there are lots of horny middle-aged
That's
Jewish
true.
men who,
Well, I think you could stop at men. Horny, not only just Jewish men.
But we are a very virile people. Okay, so I mean, I certainly, if I had the resource, but not, and if I weren't who I am and married and all those sorts of things. No, in all seriousness, that it's not outrageous, but why would all these people fly there? Jeffrey will be right down.
Yeah.
He's busy now, and he can give you 20 minutes.
Okay.
And you're telling me Bill Clinton sitting there going, I'm not getting in on that. I'm sorry, it's Bill Clinton. What we know about Bill Clinton, okay, out of all of them, and listen, I agree with you. Bill was just being an old school type of guy with a lot of these women. Now, some of them have accused him of some nefarious things that Hillary made sure that they never were allowed to talk about. I mean, no one was ever actually found to be true. But, there's just, where there's smoke, there's usually fire. And it's just that it seems like our government has been doing the best to put the smoke out more than anybody else.
Yeah, but I'm really, as a lawyer.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Where there's smoke, there's fire is really a really dangerous thing, because there's often smoke, but sometimes smoke is steam.
True.
So sometimes it's vapor. You got to prove your case.
Yes.
But as I said a second ago, too much to explain here. Blow it open as a matter of public policy. Mm-hmm. It's got to come out, and let the chips fall where they may.
Now, in terms of timing here, we're obviously still less than a year away from the midterms, but is it good to get it done now? Release this now, get this out now, so this isn't something hanging over Trump's head, because right now it hasn't looked good for him the way he's handled it so far. But now it's out. We're going to be able to parse through it.
I don't think
it's going to fall.
It's not. I don't think it's really fair to say that. Well, you're right. It hasn't looked good.
Yeah, it hasn't looked good for him,
even though he has had nothing to do with it. He's been bound by the law. His Justice Department has made several attempts at making public certain things, and judges have said no.
Yes, that's true.
And by the way, don't be surprised if someone runs to court and tries to get a judge to say no anyway.
It's going to happen. There will be, it will be challenged. There will be an appeal here. This is a process. It's not going to come out tomorrow. This is going to be a process.
But I think it's a good point. there's no real advantage to Trump to make this I think, to happen next summer.
Yeah, no.
I think the more time he can have to, given, I mean, given what I think we can say with absolute certainty, which is that there are no Trump smoking guns in there. By the way, though, of course, remember, conspiracy theorists don't care what the evidence says.
No, they never do.
You will never be able to prove. So the absence of proof is not proof of absence, right? So the fact that they're, of course, because they took all the stuff about Trump out, it's not going to ever help him, except, certain levels of lunacy will be cut off on the talking head show.
I think it'll be funny if we get some Democrat bombshells and then Trump comes out and is like, guys, this is why I wanted you to be patient. This was going to be my October surprise. You're all a bunch of fools. And like if all that comes out, and it would have been something to have been used later on, closer to the midterms. But, and I just think, like Dave said, maybe not necessarily only Trump, because Trump did make a minor policy promise, right, with that in the election. But you have Kash Patel, who went on how many podcasts going, and I think the most important one that I talk about is the Glenn Beck one, where he said to Glenn Beck, on day one, I have seen the files and I will make sure they're out. And then you have Pam Bondi, it's on my desk, and she gives everyone a binder of things that, and people that, podcasters and influencers that people go to for news, with something that everyone already knew. And you have Dan Bongino, who was very much on his show talking about it, all of a sudden gets there and is like, no, it's between those three, something didn't add up. And I think if there was just more honesty of, hey, much more difficult than we thought, we need to go through more things and we need to be careful, like, lie to us, okay? Lie to us. Don't sit there and come out and say like, oh, it's not what you think it is, you're wrong. It's like, people don't accept that. Just say, hey, we really got to parse through it. There was significantly more sensitive info than we need in there. Give us time. We will get this out. It's not going to be as quick as you guys want it, but we need time here because we need to be careful with this. And that would have been, people would have been annoyed, but we would have moved on. But I think the way they handled it has made this significantly worse than it ever had to be.
Well, I mean, and look, Pam Bondi with the binders.
How did she survive her job? Because here's the thing too, Matt Gaetz would have never done that. He would have never have done what Pam Bondi did.
But he would have been in the Epstein Files, though. So which is worse? I don't know. Listen, somebody who should have been fired wasn't fired.
Yeah.
I think Pam's actually doing an amazing job.
She's recovered and she's doing a lot of things that doesn't get shine that it should right now.
There's an amazing amount of great stuff going on.
Yeah.
Litigation in the Supreme Court, a lot of very smart lawyering going on. My former partner, David Warrington, is chief White House counsel, and I'm sure that he has a lot to do with what's happening. And the really, really smart, I mean, they're doing stuff on the legal front that is really smart, but that was a gigantic misstep. One thing that people really like, because so many of the people who do this are my friends, I don't block them, but I do have an inclination every time someone says, but nothing's going to happen to them, or where are the arrests? Dude, you want your arrests to stick.
Yes.
You want your charges to be based on, and investigations of criminal conduct take a long time. You have to do it right. Oh, but the Democrats arrested. Right, but that's what we're trying to get them for. Mm-hmm. Just doing the same thing again. I'm not even trying to say, let's be the good guys. And I'm not saying that at all. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course I am saying that, but I'm not, my argument is not, no, they're bad and we're good, and I've got a halo over my head. Rather, it's, in addition to being good, we also, let's be smart.
Yeah, how dumb would it be?
Especially the judiciary's against us, and the press is against us, and all the institutions are against us. We don't get the free pass.
No. It would be awful dumb if Pam and Kash were like, hey, we're looking into X, Y, and Z people, and we're going to see if they're doing X, Y, and Z. So like you said, they can lawyer up, they can know what to fight against. CNN, MSNBC, or they can all start running cover and doing stories. So it is better to keep it on the wraps and do it the way they've been doing it. the day that they're going to arrest him, we're announcing these indictments against this person. They're coming into custody, and the people that they're coming after are already smart enough to lawyer up, but they don't know exactly what they're going after them for yet. So it's a better.
It's
They're
going
doing
to
it in
be
a smart
very
way.
interesting. I mean, a lot of this stuff involves conduct that there is no longer prosecutable. But again, from the policy point of view, there's an argument that says, yeah, government, it's true if you don't prosecute people for something that they did 15 years ago, they're not going to get then the statute of limitations is going to run out. But your job was to prosecute them, and you didn't.
Yep. What do you think about I heard on Glenn Beck the other day that Comey might be getting off because there's some prosecutorial stuff that went wrong and they may be throwing it out. Did you hear anything about that?
I think that a lot of spin is coming out like that. But from what I understand, based on the commentary of people who are much more familiar with criminal procedure than I am, which is everyone, these are really fairly trivial things that are routinely overlooked in this kind of context. And, the response that the government filed to Comey's motion to dismiss was pretty devastating. So even if there is a dismissal, I think they're in front of a magistrate judge still. So whatever he or she recommends goes to the district judge, and even that could be appealed. But because it's not there's not a double jeopardy problem at this juncture. So I'm not worried about this.
And, I think we're going to go through a little bit with some of these people as the process being the punishment, right? Because we have to understand people like Brennan, people like Comey, they're going to get some pretty good lawyers that represent them because they have a lot of friends in these places and people that are going to look for these technicalities that know how to do this stuff.
Well, it's not only friends. I mean, look, these are the swamp. They're all
going to protect each other.
Well, not only that, they also the money will be found.
Yes.
Well, these people are not working for free, friends or not friends.
No, not one bit.
So, but they're all going to get paid.
Oh, listen, Act Blue will raise it for them most likely, right? Like it's going to come, like they're going to get paid. But I think that's also what we need to remember where, yes, on the government side, we have some very good lawyers litigating, but it's not like they're being represented by the friggin' lawyer from, what was the Joe Pesci movie? My Cousin Vinny, the one with the stutter. And they're not being represented by that. They're being represented by good lawyers that know how to look for these little minor technicalities that Ron was talking about.
They're going to be fighting every single step of the way.
As they should, because that's a justice system. That's should. Right. If you're a good enough lawyer that you can get off somebody that is dead to rights guilty and you can beat the person in front of you, that's part of being a trial lawyer, right? It's a battle. It's a battle of wits. It's a chess match. So there is all that. So I want to get to a quick comment. Nate G saying, weird that Trump and Destiny both believe Epstein is fake news. Just plumbers and bartenders sailing to an island for regular hoes. I mean, that'd be really cool for the plumbers and bartenders.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
I don't think that's what Trump meant when he said it was fake news. What I think what he was saying was there's nothing of legal significance there.
And the Democrats are just using it as a political cudgel. That's all it is.
But Trump and Destiny is certainly an interesting pairing. And that might be the first time. This program might be the first time that those words have ever been uttered.
I would like to see an interaction between them. I think it would be no matter the context, I think it would be a very interesting interaction.
I give it this. I don't think Destiny would be a bitch. And I think, because Destiny's the type of guy, I think he will just say what he needs to say, but then Trump will smack him down epically. I think it would be good
He'll say something like Quiet Piggy to him. He'll say something like what he said recently.
Do not want.
Caveat Ties jumping in there saying Swamp Daddies, yes. And he's also saying, I love My Cousin Vinny. Gave it the most excellent on Criticlist, which Ron knows about the app, I'm sure. Ron, do you know about the Criticlist app? This is our PSA. Caveat always gives us the PSA.
Tell me about it.
Okay. So what the Criticlist app is, it's an app and a website that's a response to Rotten Tomatoes from one of our former guests, Blaine Andrews. What it is basically is you can create a profile and there's a massive catalog of TV, video. They're going to be adding video games where you can rate them. There you go. You can rate them yourself, and then it's almost like a social media aspect where people can comment on your ratings and things like that. It's actually a really cool community. If you like TV and movies, go join. So,
as
we make
you,
zero
I think
money off
you
that.
mentioned, I mean, I appear regularly on Valiant Renegade,
There you go.
and I talk about law, and they talk about movie returns, and I start fidgeting with the stuff on my desk because I haven't been to a movie in a very, very long time, and I'm not all that into. I mean, because I'm on social media, it seeps in, and then I sometimes like find out that some gift that I've been using comes
It's
from
from
some
some
TV
movie.
show or some movie that I had no idea which is why I started making my own gifts. I said, well, let me control. I mean, I used to be an actor, and I've got a funny face. I can. Why should I rely on
And if you
content
share a gift that maybe doesn't go with the situation, doesn't mean what you think it means because you're not into that cultural
that definitely
space.
did happen once. I don't want to go into it, but and it was during a particularly nasty exchange, so it's not as if any of my friends were involved, but it was. I do think I did make a mistake.
Those things. Hey, it's social media. Everyone's gonna make those mistakes, and sometimes though
No,
you take
and in
the
fact,
L when you do
I
it, and you're
make
just like,
so
we're
that
done here.
It's mind-boggling, frankly.
Caveat Ty saying Blaine goes on WDW Pro, so I thought Ron knew. Okay,
Now
I don't know if you know Blaine Andrews or not.
I think I have seen Blaine, and I'm not.
Blaine's a good
Have
dude.
I ever been on a panel with Blaine? I probably have.
Nah, yeah, Blaine's a good guy. Yeah, if you haven't really known him yet, you'd like him. I feel like you would enjoy his
But I like
presence.
most people.
Yeah, you're a pretty likable guy in terms of everything going on, and you agree to come on this show, so that's nice of you. That's good charity.
Well, that's true. That's true. But that was nice of me.
So let's go into Trump a little bit more now that we moved past Epstein, and I think we know that one thing that Trump did say correctly the other day is no one's going to be happy. With whatever comes out, no one's going to be happy, and it's because government has sucked for so long that everyone always thinks they're lying to them, and they probably are. So it's like there is that you're never going to get the benefit, but the best thing he's doing is putting it out. So into the term so far, how do you think Trump has done so far into his second term? Overall, big look.
A minus.
Pretty good score.
A minus. So much was learned. So much better than the first
100%.
in the first term. Information and message management, A++, fantastic. Very, very few leaks.
The cabinet has been so fun too with their messaging. They're on like how good everybody is in this cabinet. It's awesome.
they have really been working on this, on thinking this through for a very long time, and I think and I don't know, by the way, if it is possible to get higher than an A minus, because there's so many things that can go wrong. Mm-hmm. I mean, there have been a couple of missteps,
of course,
but boy, the way, for example, the way Gaza was kind of resolved. Now one problem I have with like pro-Israel advocacy on social media is that a lot of pro-Israel people are very impatient.
Yes.
And they have a tendency to take a snapshot of exactly what they think the world looks like right now and to draw conclusions from it. And clearly, Trump has used many, many fake outs, head fakes.
Yeah. He always has too. He's really good at that.
And I think what people have forgotten is that one of the biggest of them all was that the one that said Jared Kushner is not going to be involved in the administration.
Yeah, of course, sure.
Guess what? It's amazing. He has the way he has broken the paradigm of the way things are done in the Middle East and in so many other ways. But I still give it a name. I think that the pushback on the UN has been insufficient.
Okay.
I don't even really know why we're still in the UN, but I understand, there are some things you can't really just do.
We have to start by kicking the UN out of the United States. I think that would be the first step. Get out of New York, go to Sweden, go to one of these other places.
Go to Sweden, go to Nairobi.
Yeah, go to Nairobi, or
go to these third world countries that are always telling everyone else how to run their affairs.
Or go to Gaza. Honestly, put the UN in freaking Gaza. They love it so much. Put it in Gaza. Like, go there.
I do have the impression that Elon Musk was not really given quite enough runway to get done what he wanted to do and could have done, and I think that was a mistake.
I think the appointment and the way he was appointed really pigeonholed him because it was the 90-day special appointment, so he could only do so much. And I don't know how else besides making him a full-blown cabinet member, which I don't know if they would have ever gotten him through. He wouldn't have gotten.
Yeah. But I mean, the point is, these are quibbles.
Yeah,
these are quibbles. He has what I also think is remarkable is, again, maybe really above all, the message discipline has been phenomenal, and it means so much in the 24/7 messaging environment that we live in now.
Yes,
and it's so different from in the past.
Yeah.
He's really thinking through what's going to be released and what's going to be said when, and we're just hearing much less from him. And that doesn't mean, it's not because someone is tying him into a bow and preventing him. It's because the game plan is different now, and it's immensely better. There are things that still have to happen, and there are things in terms of the way Congress is being managed. Again, it is so easy to be an armchair quarterback.
The thing with Congress, at least they're not 100% against him like they seem to be in the first term. Like in the first term, they were directly adversarial, where at least, yes, they're not doing much, right? What did they pass? 3 bills? It's been terrible, but they're not openly.
Well, at least he doesn't have the problem of
the Republicans aren't openly challenging him, right?
You still have the problem with the Senate. Yes, you have the problem with the filibuster.
Thune sucks, but at least he's not openly challenging him like Mitch McConnell was, right? Like Mitch McConnell would say one thing and then publicly go out and lambast him. Thune's playing ball, and Mike Johnson's been pretty good because he knows he has the power there. He can say and do what he wants. He has a good majority to get done and pass some things, but that's been a big difference because in the first time, he had Republicans flat out against him, right? They were just fully against him. They hated him. They made it known. This time, even the ones that don't like him are at least shutting their mouths and playing ball.
Yeah, there is definitely better party discipline.
Yes.
A lot of things are going right. There is just so much to be done, but I do think there are many more surprises ahead. Not only
hope so
in terms of prosecutions, but there are policies that have to be worked out, and that are being worked out. And I think it has really been a pretty darn good ride.
What's crazy to me, it feels like we're 3 years into the presidency. So much has gone
I know.
on. It's the fact that we have not even gotten to midterms. We're we're less than a year deep. It's crazy that it feels like so much has gotten done. And it's because he's been so effective foreign policy. Like his foreign policy is easily the best I've ever seen. And me being a history major and knowing it's one of the top 5, if not top 3 foreign policies of any president in the history of man right now. The way he's been handling foreign wars, the way he's been demanding peace, controlling the world. He is in control of the full world right now. And it's something that I've never seen done.
Right. He's managing hegemony in a way that is really, really pissing off the Chinese.
Yep.
And forget the Russians. They're simply not a factor anymore.
No, they're not.
And that's why the Chinese are spending so much money to undermine Trump domestically, because he's removing options from the table from so many actors.
Yeah.
In a way that there was listen, I'm 147 years old, right? You're a history major. I'm living it. Okay. And I mean, Nixon broke open certain paradigms, recognizing China, going off the gold standard, fine. But even Nixon was walking within what were already fairly well trod paths.
Yep.
Trump doesn't come out of the political or the politician tradition at all.
Yeah, one bit.
He really sees things in terms of deals. How can we get there? How can we make a deal? I think an excellent example of that is the Syrian president. Now, here's a guy who's done terrible things.
Oh, the screeching because he was in the White House by the leftists was beautiful. It really was. The enemy, you keep your enemies close. He really believes in that. I feel that way.
And if this guy is, in fact, the leader of Syria.
Yeah, you have to take him. You have to
deal with that. He's not marrying off his daughters to him, all right? He is dealing with... And also the guy seems to have... He's turned a new leaf. He's not going to cut people's heads off anymore. I mean, it's a different posture.
And another issue too is it's like, okay, if we're recognizing them as a country at all times, why are we not dealing with them? It's not like Joe Biden came in and when Barack Obama came in and said, we don't recognize them as nations. They're illegitimate, similar to the way Trump is doing to Maduro in Venezuela, where he doesn't recognize that power there. But if we're going to recognize Syria, we're going to recognize the leadership, why not work with them? Right? They haven't done any terrorist acts lately in a long time, or nothing we could truly tie them to. So why not try to work a deal with them? And then if they screw up, then you figure it out, right? Like you play the game that's in front of you.
Excuse me, I agree with you. He really is dealing with things and looking at things in a completely new way. And it's exciting. And I think also, I mean, I don't really know what the game plan is with Qatar.
So I'll give a quick little insight where I think, and you tell me if I'm off. You talk about, well, you're also significantly smarter than me, so you can tell me if I'm an idiot. So what I see with what Trump's doing, this is from like me looking back at it. What he's doing foreign policy wise with all these Middle Eastern countries, with ending wars in Africa, with what he's doing in South America, I feel like he is directly looking at all the gains that China has made in the Belt and Road Initiative and really trying to attack those strategically, where they've been trying to work their way into the Middle East and basically say, hey, Russia's too weak. This is our sphere. They've been directly involved in Africa, and they still are with a lot of the mining and stuff. They've been in South America.
A lot of that's really blown up in their face. I mean, that has not gone well for them.
It has, but I really feel like Trump is at least going in and trying to let these countries know, China's screwing you, but we're here to help. We're going to end your wars. We're going to actually help your governments. We're going to make peace in the Middle East. And then with South America going, this is our sphere. Get the fuck out. This is what in the sphere of influence. This is ours. Go away. And I think that he's not openly attacking China, but I think China knows what he's doing. And I think that's from what I've seen, the way he's strategically done it, how he really doesn't care about Ukraine, Russia right now because they're being dicks. And he's like, whatever. I don't care about Europe. Europe can do its own thing. You guys can kick rocks. We're going after everything China has been trying to touch and systematically going, okay, we like what America's bringing more than China right now. And I think that's what I see.
Well, I think you're right. I think he's focusing on China without making it look like he's focusing on China. And a couple of really important things have happened with respect to China. A year ago, many people were saying the invasion of Taiwan is nigh.
Yeah.
The window's opening. And what has gone down in the last 6 to 8 to 10 months is China, the ability of China to actually pull that off. The window was never as wide as people thought it was.
And I'll say this, there is still a fear in Taiwan because I actually, in my job, I actually have been working with someone who works and lives in Hong Kong and is from Japan. So from that area, and that fear is still there. Taiwan still believes China's coming after them, and especially what happened with Hong Kong during COVID. So Taiwan is just ready any day and hoping that America will back them. So I will say that fear is still there from that region.
And it's reasonable because for us, it's it's a gigantic, important issue, but for them, it's life and death.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a huge thing. I think that's a very good insight, actually, Alex. You're a lot smarter than you give yourself credit. I mean, of course, you're not as smart as I am, but
nowhere near.
But really, is that fair? Right?
I can't compare to perfection. Like I can't.
Perfection, no, that wrong channel. But I do think that you're right. He is nibbling strategically at things, at China initiatives and China interests. I mean, look, in the 60s and 70s, the Soviet Union tried to be the daddy of the the so-called third world, the unaligned world. It was a good strategy for them, but they couldn't pull it off. They didn't have the money.
And Afghanistan definitely hurt them. When they tried to go in Afghanistan and they couldn't do that.
They didn't have their technology turned out to suck.
Yeah.
All these countries bought all this equipment, that American equipment. I mean, Vietnam was a bad scene, but a lot was going on in Vietnam. But
very similar to China too, because China's doing the same thing.
But China's stuff is also shit.
Yes,
it turns out to really, and everyone's scared about their Navy. Don't be scared about their Navy. I'm not an expert, but it's smoke and mirrors. And I mean,
David knows I'm not scared of China at all. I think they're a paper tiger. When you're building ghost towns because you need to just keep your people working that nobody lives in, your economy's fake, and we know their economy's fake.
And they don't even know if there's fuel in their missiles.
And they're going, listen, and the way it's been heavily known that Xi is going to go the way of Mao. He's a Maoist, and he wants to inch closer. The more that he feels the need to go to Mao tells me the more that he's losing, because he doesn't think he can pull off what he wants to pull off with the public-private partnership, and he's just going to go and nationalize everything, which dictators and people like that do.
But he wears a suit and tie. See, he wears a suit and tie.
He's very American.
I'm old enough to remember in the 80s when Japan was going to eat our lunch.
Yep.
Absolutely was going to eat our lunch.
Yep.
Why can't we do everything like Japan? It's amazing what the United States manages to just keep inventing, and there is a dynamism and an originality and a freedom that just seems, I mean, the entire computer thing, nobody was figuring on that. You're right. We're not building cars anymore. By the way, all the cars that everyone's building, no one wants to buy them anymore anyway. No one can afford to buy them anyway.
Nope.
All the paradigms are different.
Yeah.
Do you really want steel mills? Look, you do want to have, strategically speaking, not have to rely on foreign sources, and certainly not on foreign adversaries. It's a complicated world. We're never going to go back to the true isolationism. We shouldn't.
We need nuclear plants
because I'm an economics major, so we learned about comparative advantage, and to a large extent that was a mistake. Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, the comparative advantage on a spreadsheet makes a lot of sense, but when you
bring it into reality,
what they call in international relations, in game theory, a beggar thy neighbor policy, which is what the U.S. has been victimized by for decades now. Then you have to hit back a lot. Yeah, Trump is doing a lot of things, and he really does have gigantic spheres of steel.
It's amazing. So I want to quickly get through the comments because you guys have been asking comments.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to jump off until you have a chance to read every comment at the very least. And
then just quickly after that, I just want to get your opinion on the domestic side, and then I will release you from your penance. Okay. Felon lawyer coming saying Ron is doing a mitzvah appearing today. Yes, he is, and we appreciate Ron.
Because I'm not getting paid. Anything involving monetization on social media, I lose. Felon lawyer, you know that. You've seen me complain about this.
Caveat Ty saying a lot of pro-Israel dispensationalists. I like that word. That's a big word.
Dispensationalists. I don't really know what that means.
It was tough. Felon lawyer saying Gaza City would be interesting place for the UN, and it should go there because they love them so much and they refuse to ever say anything bad about the Palestinians and Hamas. So they should go.
And I'd be willing to settle for Egypt.
Yeah, but you know what though? Then they would have to admit that they're in Africa, because a lot of people forget Egypt's in Africa. They're African. They're not like, they might be Middle Eastern, but they're
We
African.
was kings after all.
Yeah.
Good times.
Caveatize, Thune is my state senator. I'm sorry for you. Felon lawyer saying not a problem. I don't know what to, but I appreciate that. I assume that it's just something I said. Felon lawyer also coming saying,
Yeah, there's
Mama Pillow, how's it going today?
Conversation going on in there. But one of the things that I really want to hit on, because Mama Pillow wanted to know what we thought about this. If the whole world only knew what other leaders like von der Leyen and Merkel and Starmer have done, and generally European leaders, to be quite honest with you, and really like
they've destroyed the West. The West doesn't
what's
exist
been going on.
because of
It's Western leaders have genuinely have been selling their countries down the river.
Yeah.
Mostly in the form of mass immigration, but with their economics and everything that they've been doing, and generally they've gone against their native population for the mass immigrants that they brought in. I mean, I follow a whole bunch of British politics. So
you're a big fan of the
mind-boggling. These countries have just, and we're big enough that by virtue of being a little bit behind the curve, we might be able to prevent it.
Well, you look at Texas. Texas has 300,000 Muslims. It's a massive number there.
The other segment I wanted to do today is actually basically hitting on this, which we might do have to log off, because like it's happening here. Like
it's happening.
We're huge, so we might not feel it immediately, but it's definitely happening here.
Well, here's the thing, Bruce. Right, because 300 Muslims today is 3 million Muslims in 60 years, or 100 years.
Mm-hmm. Because remember how many Biden let in? Biden let in millions of them.
But my subsidiary point here is, white people are not having babies.
No.
And if you don't have babies, and you allow in populations of people who do,
it's going to be difficult, say the least. So get to Mama Pillow over here saying, despite China's use of civilian boats, there is little likelihood of proper supply if they're needed in military action. I agree. Listen, China's a paper tiger. I don't care what people say. They really are. Felon lawyer saying Trump is working overtime on getting the Saudis fully on board in doing something to China. That much is obvious. And he's working hard in getting that whole region outside of Iran to also make sure, because they're all terrified of Iran too. So if he can get that region to be peaceful, Iran and China and Russia's power and all of the what was that friggin' their currency that they were trying to do, their big currency group,
Real.
they're not the Real, but what was the name of it? They were a group.
The Chinese currency, you mean?
No, it's there was like a group of them trying to make an
alternative reserve currency. I don't
forget what that pact that they were a part of, but they were like a big three. India was in it, and it's weakened, obviously weakened because of Trump. Toxic Walt saying, I'm only now learning of the stream. Did I miss anything about the Dearborn situation? We're actually not going to get to the Dearborn situation with Ron.
Quick.
We're going to do that really quick. You want to do it really quick?
Really quick. Ron, have you heard anything about the Dearborn?
No, I'm good. Jane's already mad at me for not making money this hour. So, but an hour 10, what's the difference?
Sorry. So quickly, the Dearborn situation, what's going on there, Dave? You threw it in there. What's up with
Ron,
that? Bricks, yes, Bricks. Thank you. Thank you, Felon. Thank you, Toxic Waltz. Go ahead.
Have you heard anything about the Dearborn, Michigan situation?
I've heard a little about it, but I think it would be appropriate for you to intro it so that I can get up to speed while you...
Okay, so generally, I mean, just the real general synopsis is basically become a Muslim town, Muslim city, where even at like 5:30 a.m., the call to prayer is going out across the way, and everyone can hear it, obviously violating noise complaints. But, that doesn't matter because it's now their city. I don't know if you saw this video. I will play it real quick. This is the mayor of Dearborn.
Because what you often hear that it's accompanied with that as well, you must assimilate. I shouldn't put out a magazine that's in 2 languages. Why can't you speak English? Why are my videos subtitled in Arabic? Why is my caption both in English and Arabic? People get frustrated by this. But to me, it's like, I actually disavow the use of the term the melting pot. I actually don't like it. Why? Because in a melting pot, when you're talking about like a soup, everything looks the same. Right. We're the salad bowl. The lettuce is lettuce, the tomato is tomato, the cucumber is cucumber. And they all complement each other. Because what you all
I don't have a big problem with that. Look at me. I'm not look at me, but I mean, I look
You're
different.
beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got the little hat. Assimilation has been oversold. But if you want to have your own culture, the premise is you acknowledge that you're a guest.
Yes.
Not that I'm going to come to this country and make it my culture.
Yeah.
But rather, in our house, we've got all kinds of periodicals in multiple languages.
Mhm.
We consume all kinds of media in multiple languages. We have our own culture. It's but if I have to pray at a certain time of the day, I don't stop in the middle of the street. In fact, Jewish law prohibits me from doing so.
Mhm.
I have to find, if I can't find a place that is both private and unobtrusive, I have to skip prayer and make it up later. It's not an option to just say, well, I'm just going to stop traffic. Okay. You can't. Now, I'm not saying that every Jewish community and every member of every Jewish community always behaves perfectly as a guest. There are people who are so sunk in their subculture that they really don't get, but it is really, he's not entirely wrong. You should have the liberty to do, but you must remember you're a guest. And by the way, I'll say something else. This is a Christian country. It was founded as a Christian country.
Yes.
Yes, the founding fathers were not the most religious bunch. They were mostly deists, fine. But the premise of American society is Christianity.
It's based off the Ten Commandments. That's honestly what we get a lot of it based off of.
But here, Islam is a stranger to this culture.
Yes.
This has been, and we are constitutionally and culturally obliged to find room for it. There's no way out of that box.
Mm-hmm.
But Muslims, the mayor, his points are valid, except at 5 o'clock in the morning, even if you're the majority in your town. You can't wake. By the way, when I studied in Jerusalem, and the first night I slept there and I heard the Muezzin, calling people to prayer, before sun, that was scared the hell out of me. But then you learn to, frankly, then you learn to sleep through it. But I was in Israel. Okay? I was in the Middle East.
Exactly.
So, but if you're in Michigan, I mean, one of the really disturbing things is how Obama and Biden took all these communities, these people from North Africa, and they purposely moved them into traditional American.
Yeah.
And I'll say the difference, Ron, though, is that we know when they speak of it, they're speaking of it in segregated terms, right? They do not want to even have interaction outside of their group, where your American Jews will typically still interact with other people and still be cordial and still treat others with respect, where, don't get me wrong, I'm friends with a ton of Muslim people and they're fine. But there is a sect of them that aren't Muslim. They're Islamists. They're very different in terms of their belief. And that's the type of people we're getting. That's like the type of mayor that we're seeing and things like that. And that's where we wouldn't let a group of, violent, middle-aged military men, Jews, that wanted to sit there and go, you know what? We're making America New Zion. I don't care. Israel's cool. We're going to make New Zion here because we don't have enough room in Israel. And we've been kicked out of everywhere else. So we're going to come right here. You guys, your law doesn't matter. Our law matters. And we don't care.
Cool.
Then that's the difference. And that's what, and I agree with you, because our heritage is from other countries as well, through our grandparents and things like that. So we have different cultural things as well. But in the end, you still have enough respect and enough belief in the founding documents of this country and the people that made it and the different things like that to want to at least be American as well, right? Your culture is what you are there, but there is an American culture that is very different than everyone else around the world. So there also needs to be you can have your own culture, but when you step outside and you're amongst other Americans, you're a friggin' American. And
there are so many marvelous things, and they're not religious things, but they are. But being an American is about, people around the world
We're the nicest people in the world.
That's
We
right.
really
They know
are.
that Americans
We're the
are
nicest people in the world.
incredibly open
Yeah.
and generous, naive to a large
I was
extent.
gonna say almost
Oh,
naive
bad.
to
Oh, we're
apply
the
your
marks.
message.
We are the marks for everyone when we go out. We
Yeah.
are marks.
We're
We're
and
stupid.
we're provincial because guess what? We have a whole continent practically to ourselves.
Mhm.
Canada's just basically the attic. Okay. It is
the attic.
it is what it is.
I just realized
Those are good things, but they're informed by the culture that produced America, which is, a Western European, largely Anglo-Saxon, and it's a gigantic, it's a real shame what's happening in the universities, the disdain and the contempt that are being served out, and we should be ashamed of it, and it's got to stop.
It's got to stop. And you know what, though? I know you were going to take this in a joking manner, but there's individuals like you who have a really good voice, who have a good platform, who are smart, who do know your shit, and you put your message out well. So, Ron, we appreciate you coming on, what you do. Dave, bring up the podcast. Everyone, please, please, please do what Dave's doing right now. Click the subscribe button on the ColemanNation podcast.
Thank you.
And go listen to all the episodes. You will be gaining a ton of knowledge. He has guests that are awesome there and a ton of fun. So, Ron, we always appreciate you taking the time.
Always, all the times. I'll never forget.
Yeah, you'll never forget coming out. We'll talk to you 2 years later, and you'll be like, "I've been on this show twice."
Also, Ron's Twitter.
And Ron's Twitter over there at Ron Coleman. It's real hard to do. Just if you can't spell Ron Coleman, you probably don't deserve.
Well, no, a lot of
follow
people
him.
spell without the E. I actually own the domain name Ron Coleman without an E. It redirects to Ron Coleman with an
Wait,
E.
how do they spell it without an E? How do you spell Coleman without an E?
That's there is a very famous brand of British mustard that is spelled Coleman's mustard.
Well,
But
that's
that's
British. British doesn't count.
British, yeah, they don't count, especially anymore.
The Astra, just a far, far better thing I do than I've ever done before. He spelled it without an E. Guys, it has been an extraordinary simulation of reality. Thank you so much for
We
inviting me
appreciate it,
on.
Ron. Thank you so much. You have
The hour went by like this, at least for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe
fast.
even for you, and whether anyone else felt that way, I don't know. Thanks for having me on.
We're gonna
Far
go
too
over
fast.
some of the comments after Ron goes, and
All
maybe
right.
go over a little bit more things. Thank you, Ron.
Good night.
Thanks, Ron. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
All right, so everyone, Ron Coleman, I mean, such a smart guy. The fact that we even get an hour to hang out with him,
Mhm.
and I do truly enjoy the way Ron delivers.
If you're on Ron's stream and you want to hear us answer some of these comments, I know it might not be Ron answering them, but you can come over to ours because I do want to go over your comments because it's been very, very good conversation going
yeah,
on.
so
there.
Dave, where we want to start? Let's go with
So
what do we have?
right
We start with the
here-
toxic not addressed.
well,
Oh,
real quick, at least in China, you can bribe your way out. The UK just censors and locks you up for thinking or having an opinion. Yes, that's actually pretty much true.
it's
I mean,
so bad.
it's really, really bad in a lot of Western countries, Britain being one of them. Salable reference in that, like directly referring to Jimmy Carter, I believe so. Salable has also been always been an awful way to refer to our country. It is a destruction.
It's a segregationist way. That's what it is. It's all segregation. and
Not
it's
really
being-
a segregationist way.
Well, segregation's government doing it, but I mean in
it's-
terms of the way they think.
It's mainly a way for you to try to accept things that you don't want to accept if you
Mhm.
are a native countryman. That's really what it is. It's sophistry to get you to do that.
So keep going.
Yeah, there's like 53 other countries that could go to and be happy.
And here's the thing, and with that comment, where I agree, the difference in our country is, and it's our fault, right? Because our country is, if you have a philosophy, you have a belief, rally enough people, win enough elections, change the country, right? We have allowed them to do that.
I will say
We've
this.
allowed them to do that.
I will say this. I do think that is a very dumb way to have a country, and I don't think the founding fathers would agree to that statement at all.
Well, the thing is, no, they
It was-
wouldn't, because Abraham Lincoln was like, fuck the law, I'm going
It's
to
a
make sure
very-
the Union stays.
Exactly. It is a very specific country,
I
even
don't think
though
they-
we allow a lot of liberty.
I don't think they also believe that there would be a group of people that would pervert that idea enough to sit there and allow, and like Ron said, bringing different clashing cultures in here intentionally, allowing our border to be wide open.
I think
intentionally.
that they believe that people would be strong enough to say no to it.
And I think there is a lot of us that we just need to wake up before it's too late.
Yeah. Islam is not compatible with choice and not compatible with freedom.
No, not the
from
current version of it certainly isn't.
Yep. I lived in Squirrel Hill area of Pittsburgh for a little bit. Tree of Life Synagogue was literally adjacent to my backyard.
Oh my god.
Um, it's a neighborhood with I think it's called Eruv surrounding the borders. And I just want to finish because that far area ruled and was in no way extremely Jewish in the way these Muslims areas are. And yeah, that's typically going to happen.
And here's the thing, and I think we need to wrestle with this a little because there is a difference between the primarily Muslim areas versus the Hasidic Jew areas, right?
Oh, yeah.
But there is a very similar tenor where Hasidic Jews tend to come in and take over areas and
We have
run
experienced that.
the people out. Yes, yes. And the thing is, it was so funny. We experienced that, and then you have all of the people in New Jersey calling out Lakewood and the Hasidic Jews, going, "Yeah, they're heavily supporting Jack."
Yeah,
Like
I
it
know.
was so
It was pretty
surreal
funny.
to be
It
like,
was pretty
Lakewood's
funny,
going to deliver Jack for us, and it's like that was insane to see. But it is, and I think we do need to wrestle with that, right? Because yes, the Hasidic Jews aren't violent. There was a roving gang of Jews in Lakewood for a little while that were doing violence, but not in the same way that the Muslims are that we currently see, where they will kill people over it, right?
It's different ways of pushing people.
It is different ways, but I think we do need to wrestle because there's a lot of people calling for like not allowing Muslims to have their own communities and things. And I agree with Ron. It's okay to have your own culture and things like that, but we do need to wrestle with if you're going to block all the Muslims from doing it, then we got to tackle the Hasids. We got to tackle the Amish. We have to tackle the Mormons. Like we have to go after all these groups that do a similar type of thing.
But that's the thing though, right? It's mainly because it's not really people complaining about like, there being a Chinatown in a city, right?
No.
Like there's a difference between that and what's going on in these small towns.
They're not trying to take over.
But like there is a specific carve out where it's just like, okay, like this is where we go to experience this part of the thing.
And the government's participating. That's also
that's not what's happening. Like the inhabitants of that area are participating.
I agree, but I just think we talked about precedent, and it would be poor precedent to say this group, because of affiliation, cannot have a community where throughout our history we have had groups having communities intentionally.
The thing is, it's not about not having a community. It's about if you're going to have a community, people self-segregate all the time.
Agreed.
So if you're going to have a community, and we've had our parents, we've had people older than us talk about this when they lived in cities. There's an Italian area, there's an Irish area. So people self-segregate all the time, and it's mainly just don't do this to areas that already have a homogenous kind of culture going on.
And on top of that, don't create your own laws based off of your religion.
Well, yeah,
right? Like there's that difference.
You're not going for local, state, and federal law.
And we go after China with that, with their secret little police stations. Yeah. And we know that if there's Sharia law going on, and the thing is, the biggest issue is if you're going to have your own spot, they're going to create their own laws. That's fine. But if your laws are completely incompatible with our law and the way we do our common law, which is based off Britain, right? Mm-hmm. Like you can't have Sharia law in your area because you can't cut somebody's head off. You can't stone somebody to death. You can't, rape is illegal, right? Like you can't do the certain things that are allowed because that's against our overall laws. So there's borders and boundaries there, but I think we need to, and again, like I said, I don't disagree that if they are Islamists, we need to get them the fuck out. They can't have their own place, but we just need to be careful about precedent set because we do see there are psychos like the Christian nationalists that would go, we want to kick every Jew out and we want to kick every Mormon out and we want to just kick everyone out that isn't a devout Christian. And that's wrong too, right? There is room for everyone in this country. We just need to bring some people to heal and they need to become American that's the thing. We need to bring people to heal.
If you're going to be mainly a civic nationalist country, you have to say you're going to conform to this idea.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you don't do that, then you're not a country.
Agreed. So keep going.
You cannot take a culture that survived the attacks of 9/11 and ask us to be letting the monster into our own country, which is understandable.
Yes.
It's an understandable idea to have.
Code 33, we forgot 9/11, okay? New York City has completely and totally forgot 9/11 ever fucking happened.
Sorry, I'm not. Muslims can get out, stay out. The religious doctrine ideology is formulated around jihad, no quarter, no mercy. Get the fuck out.
I understand the sentiment. I really do.
They were supposed to move Jews to Alaska or Madagascar maybe both 80 years ago. I don't remember ever hearing about that.
That's hilarious. We read this already.
Yeah. Politically correct has already destroyed our country. Muslims, their ideology is dependent on penetrating their enemy by any means necessary, including lying. GTFO Muslim.
Listen, this is why we are seeing this bizarre marriage of Islamists with the leftists and with all these movements because they all have that similar infiltration mentality, which, funnily enough, I know we mentioned Glenn a few times, was called out by Glenn in a chalkboard probably back in like 2012, like
Mhm.
that he said, or 2016, that he said exactly this was going to happen and he got laughed at.
Yeah. I use a French mustard called Savora, highly recommended. I don't even know about it. Thank you, Toxic Waltz. Caveat, Matt Walsh had a great commentary about simulation today. I might have to listen to that.
I might listen. Matt is sometimes right. Okay.
I've been liking him more and more lately, to be quite honest. The Hasidic Jews used to be in the summer, come around a small upstate New York town I lived in when I was little. It was famous for their sulfur springs. I remember the girls.
Oh, hey. I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
We're talking a difference between some groups that have run organized crime or criminal activity versus people that fly airplanes into skyscrapers. I mean, you're not very.
Listen, I'm just giving devil's advocate and looking at the slippery slope type of stuff, because the slippery slope usually ends up being fucking fully greased if we don't sit there and really think about everything before we do things.
It's always effective to hang on to the extremes of any side to justify your own actions, and also hashtag chickens for KFC.
Eat more chicken, okay?
That's Chick-fil-A.
I know. I just like that ad. But I mean, overall, listen, I'm not saying that any of you know, code 33 Beal, you're not wrong, okay?
Hold it. Barring any foreign national from holding public office would help. Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Barring any foreign national, I 100% agree with that. And you know, it shouldn't be a thing, because we are seeing how many of these people are now being deported by ICE because they're fucking illegal too, and they're mayors of towns. Like
they're principals of schools,
they're police officers, they're like, yeah, no, this is any public office. I agree. If you are a foreign national, and I don't know, it's you have to show that you completely cut ties from your country if you can even be considered. Like, there has to be something heavy. But I completely agree.
And Code 33 Beal saying, yeah, well, I grew up outside in New York and I saw a tower to fall with my own eyes. I didn't forget. My father is 3 blocks away and came at 10 at night covered in building dust because it all zapped up into the Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm happy that, you know, your father survived. Similar experience. We had our uncle was working on the shipping docks in Elizabeth, and he watched the plane go overhead and hit the first tower, and the whole entire dock stopped because they're like, shit, there was an accident. That's what everyone thought. It was an accident. It was an issue. And I specifically remember in 7th grade, we used to watch the news on a small little TV in homeroom, and, you know, first period homeroom, whatever. And we watched the first plane. I watched a video, not of the first plane hitting. We saw the news report pop up. There was an accident. It seems like there was a malfunction with a passenger jet. That's all that was being reported at first. And then I remember live witnessing the second plane hit, and my teacher frantically, as calm as she could, turning it off. And the day was so bizarre and weird, that is a day that will forever be etched into my head. And then that night, going and watching the fallout. And Dave, you were definitely young when this happened, when 9/11. You were young, but just like watching, and things that you shouldn't forget, all the people jumping out of the building because they would prefer to die quicker than burn to death. People that did it and then obviously regretted the decision and trying to grab onto something they couldn't grab. Like, these are images we shouldn't forget. I agree, Code 33 Beal. We should not forget any of this happening. It's terrible. It's terrible, but it's the reality that we're in, and we need to face it. And I think we need to face it in like the wisest way possible, right? I think that we just have to be smart. We can't be rash, and we need to do it the right way. And I agree. Foreign nationals not being in office. If someone's an Islamist, you cannot create a fucking community. But I do not. It's weird because I do want to wrestle with the fact that it would be wrong of us to say you can't be Muslim here. I don't think that's the right way to do it. So it's weird, Dave. It's weird.
It's very interesting to be quite honest with you, because we're just in a really shit spot in the country. Because honestly, I feel like if you ask 100 different people what American culture is or what it is that defines us as a country, you're going to get 100 different answers. And that is not what a country is.
What we need more of, and it would be difficult, is we need more practicing Muslims to go against this, to stand up and speak out. That would be the vanguard. We need that vanguard.
But
And the fact that it hasn't been here
the
yet
thing
is
is
concerning.
that's why
That's the
people
concern.
land on saying get them all out, because there really hasn't been.
Well, but
much
to
pushback.
fairness to them, could they be without getting their family killed? Like, it takes a
In
lot of
America?
bravery to do.
In America? Yes.
Even in America.
In
Yeah.
America,
It depends. You do it in Minneapolis, are you going to be alive right now? Honestly, be honest. You
Yes.
do it in Minneapolis, are you safe?
In America, you can. You could have very long ago. You could have
Then
still today.
we need to prop
Eh,
up those that are willing to and truly help them.
many
Help
are.
them feel more brave.
Many
Then there needs to be something as Americans that we need to do to those who do
look,
want to be American.
Look, it's a difficult conversation to have, but you have there has to be understanding of different cultures and different things. And look,
Agreed.
we're gonna have to wrestle with the fact that there might be a lot of people that just shouldn't be American, to be quite honest with you. It was my code 33. It's my senior year of high school. We all thought it was an accident. Yeah. We all skipped school and went down to Todd's Point in Greenwich. I'm going to keep going. We went back to the car to listen to the radio as the towers burned, and then we heard building 1 fell. We ran to the beach, and we saw building 2 fall.
That's fucking terrifying, man.
It's ridiculous.
And that's the thing. Anyone that was old enough to remember that day, it's like how our parents and like people describe like JFK watching it and stuff like that. When Martin Luther King was assassinated, kind of like the "Where were you?" That's our "Where were you?" Like my generation, that's my "Where were you when?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to think that was such a defining moment. And again, we say never forget, and we have completely forgotten with the fact that Mamdani has just been elected, and Mamdani has not been quiet about the fact that he does not give a shit about Jews. And the fact that so many Democratic Jews voted for him is embarrassing. And that he really does not give a shit about American law. He doesn't. He said today or yesterday that New York is a place of international law, and that we need to find. No, fuck you, dude. It's not a place of international law, you piece of shit. It's a place of American laws and New York City laws and New York State laws. Like, what
We face is it a 5.56 Marines. I love it. I love it.
Honestly, Co, can you please follow us? I want you here. I want you in all of our streams. Honestly, subscribe every Wednesday. Come hang out.
American-born Muslims and foreign-born jihadis are not the same people in my experience, which, yes, I mean, that should be generally true.
I agree. It's the only issue is the radicalization, because there have been so many foreign-born jihadis that have entered into this country and are creating these sects I think fear is a big thing. Fear is a controlling factor for a lot of these individuals, and it takes so much, especially from a group of people who are so heavily religious. It takes a lot to leave that, because you're now extraditing yourself from your whole family, your whole existence, your whole everything. It's hard. It's easy to talk shit and say it. Yeah. It's really hard in practice.
Well, and the really interesting thing is we actually see this a lot with people that are with kids of people that came over to America and actually liked America and just had their kids here, and their kids usually end up growing up hating America. From different ways, either to become jihadis or to become radical leftists.
Well, look at Hassan Piker. Look at Hassan Piker. He's such a piece of shit. He's a grifter, but I think he genuinely, because here's the thing. He's the nephew. Here's the thing, real quick. He's a nephew of Cenk Uygur, and I don't think Cenk hates America. I think Cenk hates a lot of things about America, and he wants to change it. And I think he wants to change it in a very bad way. I don't think he's good, but I think he does not hate the country, because I think Cenk also realizes that he can't get away with any of the shit that he does in any of the countries that he would support.
I think you're probably correct on that.
I generally read Cenk that way. I think that he's very off. I think his ideas would be terrible and detrimental, but I do not think he hates America.
And he wants to fuck horses.
And he wants to fuck horses. And can we stop with Anna Kasparian already? Like, she's good looking, but she's still a retard. Okay, like she sucks. She still sucks. Okay, Anna Kasparian is still a leftist. She still sucks.
Coach saying you guys need to go to Pakistan. Radicalized, survivable, but it will give you a wake up call. I mean, look, I don't have the money for it. Maybe I actually do.
I would try.
I would. I
would get in touch with Lord Miles, and I would have Lord Miles guide us into all the different Middle Eastern places.
I don't know. But the thing is, I don't know how much you've watched of like Callum going out to different areas, and
No, I haven't watched that.
You learn things about different cultures when you go when you adventure, and then usually you come back more of a radical.
Americans are very stupid and naive, okay? We are very
That's the thing.
naive to things. And
That's
Westerners are very naive in general because we've lived a very pampered culture for a long period of time.
Americans more than other Europeans.
Well, we have air conditioning. British will always be cranky because they have no fucking air conditioning. When it's 80,
Not,
they die.
not even just that though. I'm saying when it comes to like Westerners that are not Americans, they have a country that was based on ethnos, based on ethnics, on their ethnic background.
yes.
So they have a very different way of looking at things than Americans do.
Which is what makes everything so difficult for us.
Well, yes and no. I feel like things have been muddied a lot over the years in America about how we actually look at the country. Because yet again, if you are someone that goes back to the founding fathers, they wouldn't say we're a completely ethnic country, but they would say that there is some ethnic component to our country.
Yes and
100%.
no, because you did have to wrestle with the Dutch that were already here. You did have to wrestle with there were a lot of different other groups than the Europeans that they still accepted.
Well, the Dutch are European, but the thing is
they
that
accepted the Europeans that were already here.
But I'm saying that they're still like a part of that. Like while there's differences in Europe, they're much more similar than other areas.
Well, the bottom line is though, our founding fathers were still ethnically British, so they still thought of themselves as a unified people. So it's like you have to remember that it was but they did lay the foundation for others to come here because of the fact that they didn't want an authoritarian lead to create that ethno state. They didn't want an ethno state.
No, they didn't want. Saying I don't even know what channel this is.
It is the Alex Cuesta Show. That is our channel, the Alex Cuesta Show. Maybe you'll like what you see. Here's the thing: go subscribe if you like us. Hang out. If you fucking hate it, unsubscribe.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
And they didn't want an ethno state, but they did.
We appreciate you coming in, Ron.
Ron.
Ron's a great dude.
But they did build something that was for a certain type of people, not specifically ethnicity-wise, but a lot of it's going to come from their ethnic background in general that follow that culture.
A moral individual group that is religious and God-fearing. That is what they created it for. God-fearing people.
And like I said, I feel like a lot of that has been muddled in the way we talk about America. And we can go on about this. I don't want to keep going on.
Listen, I don't mind going on. This is a good conversation to have.
It is a good conversation, but it's not the point of it.
But this also goes into caveatize what he's saying is the education system's fault. And that's part of it. Listen, there's been a lot of fucked up stuff about the education system because even if you go back to the founding, who were the educators? It was your religious. It was your priests because they were the learned ones, and they were teaching kids in these one room schoolhouses, and that's where it started. And that was generally, even as it got bigger, it was still very similar. It was your religious and your very heavily religious practicing individuals that were the teachers, and they were very much in that vein. When it got changed is when industrialization hit. And I think it was Rockefeller was the one that convinced everyone to go to the industrialized style of have a period, sit, learn, bell, move, so they can train people to be factory workers. That was essentially what it is. And real quick, Paulo Freire was the one that brought in a lot of the Marxist theory. And with the pedagogy of Press and that whole theory, that's where we get our current thinking system now.
Yeah. And I think this is just me.
Hold on real quick. I accept that as long as you don't erase it. Thanks, Co. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And just real quick, like I said, this is not what our show is about. So we just got off on
our show's about everything, okay?
It's fair, right? It's more about Ron and his thoughts.
Yes.
But we've kind of moved away, like you said, through Rockefeller and all the industrial revolution.
Today's teacher teaching 1-bedroom rooms. I mean, a lot of the homeschooled ones do.
Well,
I know what he's saying. I'm flipping it back. keeping it kosher here.
Yeah, but through both the industrial revolution and also through Freire and a whole bunch of other things that have happened through this country, we've kind of moved away from the beginnings of it, where private property did matter, ownership did matter. But it was also based off of actually having a community, actually being a people. And I feel like that is a lot of things that are really hurting a lot of the people, especially younger.
It's not possible to have anymore.
That's the thing. They both feel that a lot of them can't be hyper industrious. They feel like they can't be that. And then they also don't have the community, and they don't have that they feel like they're a part of a people.
Well, they're
So
finding a community, but they are finding it in a place where it is not it's not tangible. It's not a tangible community.
exactly.
It is
Yeah.
the intangible, and it's also a community to their vices. It's not a
Yeah.
community that's going to check their vices and be like,
Exactly.
"Hey, asshole, become a productive member of
Yeah.
this town because we
Yeah.
rely on you."
Yeah.
That's gone.
And that's, I mean, that's a very brief kind of general thing. Just
Yeah.
me coming off of things I've listened to.
Well,
And other
here's the
things.
thing. We're all going to be in the neurochip in the VR, and we're going to have our little picket fence communities. I'll pick, little picket fence communities in those. Like, that's the thing. People are going to go back to the 1950s when they can get in the metaverse. Like, that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to go back to it, and it's going to rinse, recycle, repeat, because we romanticize about those times because they were good fucking times when, yes,
But-
fucked up things happened,
so-
but they were still better as people.
So one of the things, and I'm actually going to bring this guy's name up. I hope nothing happened recently.
Really
that was
quick with Co. I'll subscribe whether I love it or fucking hate it. Thanks, Co. I appreciate it.
But there was someone that was running in Arizona that didn't get a lot of Republican backing, which pissed me off. But Blake Masters was running in
Blake
Arizona.
Masters was fantastic.
I don't know if, yeah, exactly. I don't know if many people remember him because I haven't seen his name boundied about recently.
Mhm.
But one of his selling points was people being able to have a single income household. And that's
Nice,
one of the
right?
things that people we know that are still alive were able to have at some point. And when you can see someone that used to have that, and you're a younger person anywhere, and you see that your ancestor used to have something, but for some reason you are not able to attain that, that's going to radicalize someone a little bit.
I really feel too, most women would still prefer to stay home and take care of kids. Like, I do think that if the option is there and if it can be afforded, I think they do. Yes, if you could, I feel. But the thing is, though, number one, the industrials saw that if we can double our power in terms of labor, then we're going to do that.
Well,
And number two, the Second World War put a
because
big wrench in things. We needed the women to get, and here's the thing, they proved capable, and that was part of the big thing. If they fucking sucked, would have been so good for us in history. Maybe bad for us in World War II, but good for us in history. The fact that they were capable at doing the job at not as high of a level, but still at a competent level, fucked all women over. Because I don't know how many women nowadays are like, I hate every feminist who told us we need to go to work. Like, fuck feminists, we hate them. Like, there are so many women that make that joke, but it's like seriously joking.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of issues with today, but I genuinely do believe that it's a simple aspect of saying, I saw my grandfather and grandmother have all these things,
yes,
for much less than what I do today.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't attain those, and I feel like they're unattainable. That's the thing. The people feel that things are unattainable. If they felt that there was some possibility, then they would be in a better spot, but they don't feel there's any possibility.
But I also think this is by design. I think a lot of it's messaging. You've heard me say this before too. And I think a lot of this is by design, that we have been telling our youth, it's too hard. You can't do it. And there's some reality to it. But at the same time, if you're telling them the reality that they can't do it, then it just comes.
I think there's more reality to it than there is just messaging. There is messaging.
Still, if you tell Americans that you can do it, they'll figure it the fuck out, right? Because they will sit there and they'll also want to change the system and be more active in making it better. But the apathy, is causing them to not want to do anything.
System, I will tell you that. There's a lot of people that want to change the system.
But not in the right. But here's the thing. To me, I think the messaging is more important than we let out, because for decades, from the start of this generation, from our generation of millennials, they have been saying, hey, it's going to be too hard. You buying a house is probably not going to be great. Go to college, you're going to get a job. Then we didn't. And messaging has been terrible. And now we are just telling our youth, you can't. It's impossible. Don't try. Because at least if you tell them to try, then majority of them will figure it out.
More people are telling them to try than you think. I'm not saying.
I think it's starting to flip back around.
I'm not trying to downplay the messaging, but I think that reality is much tougher than you think it is. You gotta
it's hard. It's hard. And again, a lot of us have been fucked over by. We have a lot of pieces of paper that mean nothing.
Because the thing is, the median would still be at a certain spot.
Yeah.
That there wouldn't be this resentment of this type. So that's my thing. Like, sure, it's a combination of both. I think it's more the reality of the situation than but we can go on about
the bizarre thing is, I don't think, because everyone's fearing the fourth industrial revolution, the fourth turn, especially with AI and stuff like that, and the loss of jobs, right? But whenever we've had a turn, we've found significantly more jobs
It's
because
true.
technology then creates. And I think we're seeing this fear, and we're seeing kids are really stuck right now. We have a lot of apathy, but this fourth turn might be a blessing, right? Because the
Maybe.
jobs that it might take away, it could just expand so much more where now these people can now have careers that we never even imagined would have been careers, correct? So we always have a fear of the technology, a fear of what's next. And AI is scary because AI has the capability of killing us, right? Like we know that. We've done enough sci-fi, and sci-fi usually is reality's warning. But when you look at it, we've always feared these industrial turns, but they've always ended up coming out and adding more than they have taken away. So I do think that right now we have this down. The jobs are down. Kids have a lot of apathy. We can't afford shit. The boom of AI, which might be bursting already because there's some really rich people that have taken so much out of Nvidia stock and some AI stocks. And the guy that did the Big Short did a $1.3 billion put on two of them. So I think the bubble's being forced right now because I think smart people are looking, going, we do it now, so then we won't hurt as much later. I really think that's happening right now. But even with that, AI is going to change so much that we can't even conceptualize, that I feel like with the fourth industrial turn, we may end up better. We
There's
may
definitely
end
the
up coming out better.
possibility of that. I'm not even gonna. There's 100% the possibility of that, and there's definitely a possibility it gets to a good point. I just don't want to get to the possibility of like pod people getting fucking jacked off all day while we're envisioning things. I don't want to do that.
Listen, we might already be in the Matrix, okay? We might already be in that pod being fed fucking slop, and here we are thinking we're real people, okay? Baudrillard might have been right. Baudrillard might have been right about everything.
Saying, I grew up outside New York City. I went to school down in Flatbush at Urban Glass. I traveled all over New York City and New York State, and the best learning experience I got is when I got out of the Northeast into the greater United States. This country is amazing. It is tough as nails. And yeah, 100%.
David, you're right. You got out of the Northeast to West Virginia. So you experienced it.
It's wonderful. You get out of Northeast and you can, on these things, they're called guns and they're constitutional right. You wouldn't know that. Dude, I know. I need to get myself one.
You need to get yourself a firearm. I need to put in, but here's the thing too. I know law of self-defense went against it, but the burner launcher is legal in all 50 states. Buy the bright orange one. You can at least protect yourself legally.
Co-host saying, I don't know, the 90s are pretty awesome. I wouldn't know that.
I grew up in the 90s. They were fucking fantastic. The best time. It really was the best.
Mama Pillow saying, telling them they can't do it starts in our schools.
Yes.
Our methods of teaching have changed radically. That is true. Modern teaching discarded phonics, and American kids can't read. Many such examples of failed school.
Really quick. True. Our school system went back to phonics because they saw how bad it was. And our school system said, fuck that. We're going back to phonics. And it has done wonders for our school. And the good thing about our school is we're a union-free school system. So I fucking helps so much having a union-free school system.
Yeah, we all got burned by the boomers. But at the same time, intelligence in Wall Street still operates. So save and invest. That is true.
So here's the thing with the boomers too, and that the boomers are a big part of the problem because not only have they been keeping wealth, they refuse to retire, and their excuse is they can't retire because of the pension. And don't get me wrong, I think there is some truth to that, where boomers can't retire because of the medical, and the system has fucked them as well. There is a lot to that, but on top of that, the boomers were never training their replacements, which their generation trained them. So there is that difference. On top of that, our generations have shrunk. We have, I think my generation was like 80 million, then it's 60, 40. So when the boomers die in their house,
I don't think we're under one yet replacement ratio wise, but I think we're like 1.4.
But 1. The thing is, and then we think we need to be at like 2.2, which is scary.
Yes.
But the problem is, and Tim Pool talks about this all the time, and he's right. When these boomers die and their houses are sitting there, no one's going to be able to buy them. So BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard are going to go and buy these houses, and there's not enough people to fill them anyway because the new generation is shrinking. So we are going to be in a big crisis. And I did a video that's going to come out. They are taking away Fannie Mae is eliminating the 620 credit minimum again.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So we're going to go right back into a housing crisis bubble because Freddie Mac already did that a few years ago. So the bubble, and when I talked about it in the video, I'll talk about it here though. A few years ago when I was buying my house here, I used a mortgage guy to go and find the best mortgage. Nice guy. We got to talking and he said they're kind of doing it again. They were at that point, they were flirting with subprime mortgages. He said they were a little more stringent, being a little more selective, but they were definitely being, letting people in that probably shouldn't. Now with Fannie Mae doing it under 620 as well, you can have a fucking 600 credit score, which isn't good. A 600 credit score is fucking terrible. And what they were saying is there's some high earners that have scores underneath them. I'm like, no, how many, right? Because if your credit score is that fucking bad, are you just selling drugs and you have all cash?
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here. So we are seeing a lot of things set up. We're looking at here, and here. Our housing situation is fucking bad. They talk that we don't have enough houses. Just wait till the boomers die. But then we won't be able to afford any of them. Yeah. So it's like the boomer houses in my area, they're already like almost $500,000. I'll tell you right now, my area doesn't belong as a $500,000, 300,000 at most, okay? With most of my houses. It's fucking crazy.
What I bought my house at was actually pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But it was still good enough that I could buy it. So.
Astronomical. So Co saying, look, guys, stop complaining, just invest in quantum computer technology. I mean, listen, here's the thing. You'll invest in it, but then when the quantum computer becomes sentient, it'll look at all the investors and murder us first because they knew we were the smartest ones to be able to do it. So it wants to eliminate the intelligent ones. It'll be like when King Piccolo went to eliminate all the martial artists in Dragon Ball. Like, that is exactly what that will be. So investing at your own peril, Co. But
do you want to do this real quick? Do you want to talk about Toy Story real quick?
Yeah, we can do a quick Toy Story talk.
Okay. I have it shared. Have you seen anything about it?
Not really. I saw that the evil guy is going to be like an Etch-a-Sketch or like a fucking iPad or something.
Well, it's not. It's a tablet.
It's a tablet, which is hilarious because it's true. Yeah. It is fucking evil. So here's the thing. I want to say this. Variety's been decent lately. Decent. They're not good, but not as bad as normal. They haven't been as much in. And here's the thing. Even Gary on some of his videos is like, Variety's been decent. And Variety has always had some decent writers there, like the pecked in. But overall, they haven't been sucking as much dick. So there's surprise there. All right. So zoom this in a little, Dave, so people can read it. God damn it. I've been learning that too. I've been zooming in.
Usually when I zoom, it zooms all the tabs. So
it's so weird. It goes like sideways sometimes. Yeah, no, it's bizarre. But yeah, no, this helps us. So let's look at this.
Toy Story 5 director defends making a fifth movie. It allows us to embrace time and the existential problem that nobody plays with toys anymore.
And give them credit. Everything they do is actual time skip. Like they do legitimate time skip. So
I didn't see 4. I had no reason to want to watch 4. 3 is the perfect ending for Toy Story for me. So I had no reason to watch.
So here's the thing. 4 was unnecessary, but 4 wasn't terrible. 4 was sad. 4 was sad because bringing back Bo Peep wasn't a bad thing, right? Because Bo was gone. You brought her back. It wasn't bad. 4 wasn't great. There were some good elements. Keanu Reeves' Duke Kaboom was fan-fucking-tastic. A Canadian stunt devil that was supposed to be like a Canadian version of Evel Knievel was really good. Key and Peele being the conjoined little people. Like, there were things about it that were good, and it felt like Toy Story. And that's what made it fine. It felt like Toy Story still. And as long as they can make it still feel like Toy Story, don't get me wrong. I agree with you. 3 was the perfect ending. But it wasn't as bad. People were pissed at 4 because the ending was sad as shit. And it pissed a lot of people off with the ending. I'm curious how the fuck they're coming about with this. Because I don't want... Dave, you're never going to watch it, right? And anyone that hasn't seen Toy Story 4 yet, fuck off, you're getting a spoiler. Woody doesn't go back with the team.
Oh,
Woody
I
stays with Bo.
I did hear this.
Woody stays with Bo. So how Woody comes back here, surprising. So Mama Pillow coming in saying, will people still watch a movie with Tom Hanks' voice? I bet audiences drop. Nostalgia doesn't sell like it used to.
Which is true.
I mean, but Tim Allen's involved, and enough conservatives still really like Tim Allen to go support him.
The thing is, though, this, I believe, is coming out around the same time as Galaxy. Super Mario Bros. Galaxy.
Why the fuck wouldn't you go world first?
Well, yeah.
Do world first. I'm actually pissed. I saw the trailer. I actually think the trailer looks good. I think Galaxy looks fantastic. But why wouldn't you go world first?
That is a very good question, right?
Well, they wanted to bring in Bowser Jr., and Bowser Jr. is more relevant in Galaxy than in World. I get it. I get it. But fuck you, go World.
I don't know. This is fan casting and doing all that shit, right? But like for me, you would do World, you would do Sunshine, then you would
Yes.
do Galaxy and all that stuff.
And you would
Like,
throw in Luigi's Mansion somewhere in there for fucking fun, and just
yeah,
let Charlie Day bring Luigi to life, because Charlie
yeah.
Day's fantastic as Luigi.
Now, would you have enough in there to make a story out of it?
Of
I
course.
don't know. Nintendo's creative.
As
I
long as
really do
Miyamoto's
think,
alive, yes.
yeah.
Okay.
But that's the thing, though, right? Miyamoto's still involved in it.
Yeah.
So, see you, Mama Pillow. Thank you. Miyamoto's still involved in it.
Thank
so
you,
I
Mama Pillow.
do trust him to an extent to make this at least fun. But it is an interesting jump to Galaxy.
I mean, I don't like the jump to Galaxy. I didn't expect it. When I saw it was Galaxy, I'm like, wait a minute. You just skipped a whole bunch of Mario stuff. Like, and the fact that they hinted at Yoshi at the end of the first one, it's like, you go to World then. If you're hinting at Yoshi, that's the purpose of World. You bring Yoshi in at the gameplay. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? And like, you could just like, I know, I get it. You wanted to bring in Bowser Jr. as a successor and do that. That was fine. And I do think actually Brie Larson's going to be fine as Rosalia. I thought that was a really cool scene with her, because it showed Rosalia as the character that she is. I was fine with it.
I think the idea of Bowser Jr. coming to rescue his father is a good one. Like that's a good idea.
And just watching them have mini Bowser there, like, it was good. Again, it was good. The trailer looked good. I think Galaxy's going to be a good movie.
Mario saying it's trash is not Mario.
No.
That's terrible. No. That was a terrible line.
I mean, and I think
we're not even talking about Toy Story. Look at where
real quick. There's some lines with me that I'm okay with there, though, because they are still going to try to play to the current demographic that's going to be watching it, and it's not all us, right? Yeah, kids have latched onto it, so they don't know the Mario that we know.
I dislike this argument. Kids aren't just retarded. They
want to hear their vernacular.
No, they don't need to. You know they don't need to.
Mini throw-ins. Here's the thing: if the whole
have children that were watching Dragon Ball, they don't need the vernacular. You know that.
Listen, while I agree, but at the same exact time, if that's just one throw-in line as a throw-in to Gen Z Omega, I don't give a fuck, right? A minor throw-in line, if it's still Mario the West of the Way, and they do a throw-in line here or there to placate to the time, it's not a big deal. It's been done forever.
It's been done trash. I think it's always been trash. Real quick, Co coming in saying it's supply and demand economics. If there's massive increase in the supply of housing, the prices are going down to come down to affordable levels.
So here's where I argue with that, Co. We've never seen that. Things don't come down. They come down marginally, but they won't come down to the point where we can see people have the buying power to match. And that's the problem. That's really the big thing with the economy. It's never about prices coming down. Prices come down marginal. It's all about getting people's buying power up to the level of the current level of inflation and things like that. Why do you hate me? So what are you trying to do here? Can I help you? Go.
Thank you.
Anyway, but that's the thing. Prices never truly come down. You'll never get the prices of yesteryear. So there's that.
I was saying I invested over a year and a half ago. I can buy a house outright now and a Lamborghini.
That's fucking awesome.
A house in Florida and a Lamborghini or a sailboat. I haven't decided yet.
You would get the sailboat. So much better.
Binary computing has a bottleneck in all of the data mining servers. NVIDIA skyrocketed in price. It was an obvious decision that quantum computing was going to be the next to go to process all data. That might be a very good idea.
So, Co, you're gonna give me all of our stock advice from now on.
Yeah.
Man's on top of it.
Yeah, really. Real quick.
Co, I assume you're a male. I don't know your gender. No, I'm kidding. But if you're a girl, please tell me. I don't know if you're a girl or dude.
But real quick, I'll read this. I haven't read this article at all, but I'll just read this paragraph. Toy Story 5 director Andrew Stanton is defending...
We'll get to that. Sorry.
Yes, we will get to that. Is defending the ongoing Pixar franchise despite fears from some that it's being stretched thin with far too many sequels, which it is. Speaking to Empire magazine, the Finding Nemo and WALL-E Oscar winner broke down the franchise into the original trilogy and then everything that comes after for in the upcoming fifth installment. Given how the relationship between children and toys continue to evolve with new generations, Stanton suggested there is no limit on how many Toy Story movies could be made. I don't like that statement at all.
Well, here's the thing. If there is that change, then and kids are playing with toys less and less, then wouldn't they all be thrown the fuck away? Like, they're not going to be there. Like, Woody, Buzz, that group will not be there to experience it. So unless you are handing it off, right, to another group and you're going to have another successor and whatever. We've seen changes before and maybe that works, but if you still want to go with Woody, with Buzz, with all the same group, then this is a fool's premise, because if toys are really going to the wayside, people get rid of their toys and they won't get passed down. You
Yep.
won't see that passed down from Andy to Bonnie and things like that. It just won't work. So no, that's not true at all.
Yes. And I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's too much Toy Story. I think it was, what's her name? Bateman. Is it Julie? It's something like that. Fuck, her name starts with a J. I can't remember.
Okay.
But she said on Twitter, make original movies. Yes.
Agreed.
We don't need this shit anymore. I'm tired of it. And the thing is, it's probably going to come out. It's not going to be anywhere near as good as the first three.
No.
And it's just going to be useless.
But it's going to make $1 billion because the name Toy Story. It still make $1 billion because
there you go.
enough of our generation, the millennials, will go out and take their kids to see it, because I know my kids are looking forward to it. We're going to go see it.
Yeah.
And I like the same way like Zootopia 2, we're going to go see, which Zootopia
Mhm.
2 looks fantastic. But Toy Story 5, we're going to go see. There are so many things that you just go see by default. And anyone with kids will tell you there are default things you go see. It just happens that way. Like the Bluey movie. I'm fucking can't wait for the Bluey movie. And I hope my kids don't outgrow out of Bluey by then, because I will be a grown man going to Bluey on my own.
And
Bluey looks fantastic.
speaking of the live action Zelda, like Caveat has been brought
Yes.
up. Justine, thank you,
Thank you,
Caveat.
Caveat.
But have you seen the leaks for the live action Zelda?
I saw the screenshots. I didn't see any like moving. I saw
Well,
the
yeah,
screenshots and I
huge
saw Miyamoto being like, basically, we'll fucking cut you if you keep doing this. Like,
But yeah, here the first
it looks good.
Yeah, they look good.
Looks good. Now here's the thing. That looks like a Link that doesn't say a fucking word. And they better keep it that way, okay? Link better not say a goddamn thing. Better shut his mouth and like it.
Yeah, I don't know. Right now, it looks good. These look.
My
it looks
only
like Link,
issue is that better be all we see of Zelda next to him. Right after this scene, Zelda better get fucking captured and go off in somewhere, and we better only see her as a prisoner somewhere talking to the person that captured her, because the story better be Zelda going to fucking save her. Otherwise, it is not a Legend of Zelda. Period.
Well, it's interesting though, right? Because they said this is a trilogy, so what is going to happen here? I don't know. I have no idea, dude. Like, I have no idea how they're going to run this. Well, honestly, with the way Miyamoto and them have treated Peach in the Mario movie, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Zelda doing a lot more in these movies.
So here's my issue with that, though. Then is Sheik relevant? Right? Because the fun is getting to Sheik, and are we going to see Sheik right away? And that would suck if we see Sheik right away.
And for me, I think I brought this up on here. If it's a trilogy, I want it to be each part of the Triforce. So one really about Link, one about Zelda, one about Ganon, whatever order. So, like you said, I'd rather, if they're together for a time, they should be separated for the adventures to actually happen for the both of them.
Which I'd be fine with that. Like Zelda, like Link trying to make his way back to save Zelda, learning to be Sheik and going on her own mission, Ganon doing his thing. Like, the lore is there.
Yeah. Then the thing is, like, if you're doing an order, it would probably be Zelda first movie, Ganon second movie, Link third movie.
Because Link's the hero. Yes,
exactly. That follows the arc of the setup, villainy winning, and then.
But can you do that? Can you do a Legend of Zelda movie and not make Link the main person? Because for a fan, right? If you come in here, and especially with all the girl bossing bullshit lately,
that is true.
You come in here and you say, fuck Link, we're gonna make a Zelda movie when everyone knows and plays and loves Link.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do. You could still make it about the Triforce, but I think you have to be careful with it.
Not necessarily Zelda on her own, but about Zelda. That's the thing. It's like it's about her story and why she's the one that's.
It's not his story; it's her story.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying.
I do. I know what you're saying.
She is the setup for everything. That's why Ganon always wants to.
She's the original girl with all the fucking. She's the original it girl. Yes.
And there's a reason why Link has to go save her all the time. So I think you could do that in that way, especially if you're already hooked on a trilogy.
I don't know. I feel like there needs to be the component of Link always being involved and Link always being on the quest to save her. Because if the quest isn't to save her, then again, it's not the story.
Yeah.
It's not. It needs to be like the whole purpose of Link existing is to save Zelda every time. Every game, every time.
Actually, I'm just gonna do this because now we're off that. But for the most part, yeah. But the thing is, you could still have it be that, but it's the beginning of that, right? You're basically getting into the backstory of that happening. So
I wouldn't care if they get separated. She escapes capture and then she uses her Sheik identity, but they're separated. But as long as Link is the main focus and Zelda and Ganon are sides, right?
yeah,
Because here's the thing. We care about the Triforce. We know it. We played the games. We know the lore. This is for us. They want to keep it as pure as possible for us, but at the same time, they want to bring in other fans. They do. They want to do a mix of both. So you got to make it about Link.
yeah,
Because you got to make us happy, but you also want to make it good enough. And don't get me wrong, Link's going to talk, right? Link's going to talk. We know he is. Is he going to be a man of many words? Probably not. They probably will start to keep it as limited as possible. But again, it can't focus on Zelda because it will flop. Good or not, it will flop because we will look at it and go, we are fucking tired of women leads when it is a male game based off. It would be like taking Metroid and doing Metroid Prime and making her take orders from Adam in a movie. And it would fucking be terrible. We'd all be pissed because it's a story about Other M. Because it's a story about Metroid. It's a story about her. It's not a story about Other M. It's not a story about that bullshit. We would be just as pissed the other way around, right? So you need to keep it in that sense and in that frame.
The thing is, Caveat brings a good point. How will anyone watch it without the trans men hunters starring as Zelda?
What I would love is if they make it, if they hire Hunter Schafer and then just have this character kill them. Pay him like Boku. Pay him like $100 million to go and just be taken down.
ColemanNation said Ionic hit 99.99% fidelity, and that's more than enough for error correction.
Yes, that's true.
Also saying, I'm an armor reforger guy. Sorry, Yoshi. That's a good subject. Kids are watching brain rot these days. They are. They are.
100%.
Yeah, male. I'm not a pronoun generation. No, not Patrick Bateman.
Not Patrick. Even though Patrick Bateman is a talented actor. But Dave, is there anything else that you want to get to? Is there anything else coming out that's of note that could be interesting?
No, not really. I think Avatar 3 is coming out. I don't really give a fuck about Avatar.
You mean the fucking The Last Airbender? Because it's just following the same books of The Last Airbender?
Well, Pennywise is coming back, making $1 billion, and then will be forgotten again.
I've actually heard that It show is pretty good, though. There's a show, and it's really gory, and it's like about the becoming, Pennywise becoming.
I don't know. That's stupid to me. It's really fucking dumb to me.
Honestly, though, when it comes to that, when you think of the original It was a made-for-TV movie, and this new It movie's better. It's rare that the new ones are better. This is better, but also
it's better in what it is, but there's something magical about Tim Curry.
There is a lot magic about Tim Curry, but at the same time, Dave, Pennywise is still a character that if the backstory is Pennywise fucking killing everything, I'm okay with that. Like learning to become a killer, like I'm cool with that.
Well, the thing is, though, is like, dude, the whole fucking Stephen King, you need to go back on cocaine, man. Like, because you only do good shit when you're on cocaine. But the whole backstory for what Pennywise is and the giant fucking turtle and all that shit, and basically a good and evil of that, it honestly comes to a point where it's a convoluted and dumb fucking mess. But
it's how they do it, yeah.
Pennywise as a villain, as a fear, is very good because it takes the form of anything that's going to be your fear.
Nobody has ever seen those movies can look at a red fucking balloon the same after watching it.
Yeah,
no one, or super great. Yeah. Like those two things are terrifying to people.
But the thing is like. And one of the things is I just don't think it needs that much more of any kind of backstory. Not learning how to be a killer. It already knows.
Listen, they're going to squeeze.
Already intuits it. It knows that it feeds off your fears, and it'll eventually you'll float because everything is sucked out.
They're going to squeeze the lemon dry, Dave.
I know. It's just I don't that type of stuff is just not interesting to me because it doesn't produce a good story, especially a good horror.
No. Hey, listen, it is what it is. But horror is the one genre that is still surviving. So
surviving very well too.
So it's still surviving and propping a lot of things up and showing that you don't need to spend a lot of money to make a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
No, real quick before we go, No, we'll go ahead. Kobe saying Zelda on 64 was my jam. Every weekend we would get drunk and play Zelda. Zelda on every system has been, even the down Zeldas are still good games compared to other games.
Yeah.
So Zelda's always been a winner all the time. It's just a great series.
Mhm.
Dave, what was I going to ask you? I think I lost it.
I don't know.
Fuck.
You better
Okay.
think of it.
No, I lost it. We're out.
Suck.
We're out. We're done. We're
Suck,
done.
Alex.
I suck. Co's comment. You screwed me, Co. But
Thank you.
but we appreciate it. So, Dave, are we all set here?
I believe we are. Yeah.
I appreciate everyone for watching. All the new people that watch from
on.
Ron's channel, we appreciate you all. Everyone, make sure that from our channel, go and subscribe to Ron because Ron's amazing. ColemanNation over there. And if you enjoyed what you see here, hopefully any of our visitors will go and click the subscribe button. You will be getting daily videos from me now. David may do one eventually, but David fucking sucks. He has significantly more free time than I do. And he just decides to do a whole lot of nothing besides watch Kino Casino and listen to the fucking Lotus Eaters. That's all he does. And he knows a bunch of stuff to talk about. He just refuses to put his goofy ass in front of a microphone and talk to a camera. But that's about it. That's all it comes down to, David. I'm sitting here every night recording a video or two, putting it out, cutting shorts, and here's David that is just playing with his noodle, listening to Lotus Eaters and fucking on Kino Casino. Like, that's all he does. And maybe he goes to the gym and punches a fucking bag every once in a while. Outside of that, he doesn't do anything else besides work and do those things. So I will put you on the fucking spot, David. That the fact that you have not done a single video is insane.
Go subscribe to Ron.
Yes.
Caveat, have a great night.
David is trying to deflect.
Co is also saying, okay, what video games you all like? We're going to get out of here, Co, but I will answer that real quick. And then we can go into it another time.
Yes.
But my favorite video game franchise of all time is BioShock. I have the wrist tattoos on both of them. But generally, what I've been into recently are roguelites. I don't know if you know what those are. It's just games that they're like dungeons. You can go on a run. You usually lose. You gain more things for the next run, and then every run's different. That's what I like. But typically, I like FPS single players, RPG single players, shit like that. But yeah.
I'm a Metal Gear guy. Metal Gear, the series, is my favorite series. Everything. 5 minutes, my auto type paused me. It's okay, go. But Metal Gears are my favorite series. I love that. I love the whole sneaking aspect and fun. Snake Eater is one of my favorite games ever. It's so good. And Blabs left it off the list the other day. Fucking Blabs is fired. But fired from here to side scrollers. Anyway, but love the Metal Gears. Old school platformers, I'm a big fan of. I grew up on Sonic. I grew up on Crash. I grew up on Banjo-Kazooie and all these games and Spyro. So I'm an old school platformer person. David Josie got introduced to the original Sonic the Hedgehog. The fact that she didn't realize that when she died, she went all the way back to the beginning. And she's like, wait a minute. And she's like, wait, we have to start at the beginning. I'm like, yeah, honey. That's the difficulty of these games. Yeah, go back. Like, you only get so many continues as well. Like, you're screwed. And if you don't sit there and beat every level in one run, you are fucked. So, and I didn't say that to her. She's 7. But overall, she got to experience that. But old school platformers, I'm an old man. I don't play real many games anymore. David knows that. But I pay attention heavily. Dave knows I still pay attention very much through side scrollers a lot, through David, through G&G and stuff like that. So still very informed on what's going on in terms of the gaming world and still very interested. And maybe one day we'll pick it back up. The Steam Cube is very fucking interesting. I will say that I am very interested in the price for the Steam Cube.
I'm going to guess it's $800.
I mean, I've been seeing,
it might be 1,000.
I know they're saying they want to make it competitive to a computer. I think they're going to get it to 600.
So apparently Linus Tech Tips, apparently he talked to some of the Steam people, or he was in some type of group thing.
And Dave, go Steam friend him.
I will. Mr. Beal. Yep, I definitely will. And he said, he said out loud that he was thinking console wise the price, and they asked him, and he said around $500, and he said the looks he got were not great. So with that, if that is true, I don't think Linus would lie about that, but it's a tweet I saw if the tweet's true. I'm thinking it's 800 to 1,000, which I wouldn't be surprised if it is Steam OS and the possibility of getting on fucking Windows. on a console.
Oh no, it's there. They already
Um,
said that. They put that out there. You can
that's
you
what I'm
can do
saying.
you can have your own OS on there. You can do Linux if you wanted to.
That's what I'm saying. So if you could do all that for $800 to 1,000, I'm still probably getting that bitch because
Here's the
I
thing.
think it's worth it.
Selling
For
that
me.
to a console person will be
That's the
difficult.
difference.
And that's the
That's the
thing.
difference.
And I think that's where I think maybe the sweet spot would be $700 to come in between the 8 and 600
Yes.
mark. I
Yes.
think 700 you could sit there and then people could say, "Hey, you just spent 600 on a PlayStation Pro and you could do much more with this."
Yeah.
That's a selling point. The Xbox people will go there anyway because
Well, Xbox
where the fuck else do they have to go at this
awesome.
point? Xbox is done. And they're not going to go to PlayStation. Here's the thing. This may spark up the console wars again because Steam is going to do what people have been waiting forever and what PlayStation has been trying to get closer and closer to, which is bringing the PC to a TV, right? PlayStation, their graphics, their everything, they've been just trying to become a brickish PC.
Yeah.
The Cube is going to do that, and we may see the end of PlayStation. We really might. I think the Cube could end the PlayStation because what's the point if you can go on your Steam Deck and walk around with Steam and or you could just go to your TV and you can use Windows. You can still download, do everything you need to do on a PC on that Steam Cube, and it's going to change the game. If they can get it to $700, it's going to be the highest selling console of all time.
Yeah, it's just going to be really interesting what they're actually going to do with it. I don't know. I have no idea.
Saying, yeah, but you could probably get a 3080 card and
Which
set
is
yourself up on a computer.
100% true.
Yes.
100% true. And my thing is though, especially with something like that, is with a computer, you have to have your desk. You have to be at your desk.
Yep.
But with this,
You could sit at a TV.
TV.
Sit at an 80 fucking inch TV and play your Steam games. Like imagine watching Subnautica on a fucking 80-inch TV. So let me check
I sent a friend request to you.
And that's the thing. It's going to be interesting to see. Now, I think the next level is because they're selling it with the controller, right? That's the thing. They're going to sell it with the controller. What they need to do is with that controller, they need to also be able to make the Steam Deck be another controller. I know you can play your games, but they need to, because then if you already, it rewards you for already buying the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
And then if you have the other controller, you can play with a friend, right?
Yeah.
Someone can use the Steam Deck to play. So I think that needs to be something that they haven't thought of yet needs to do because it rewards me as already supporting Valve, right? Having a Steam Deck.
Yep.
And now I'm getting the controller and now I can play with the friend right away without, I already paid the money for the second controller and more with that Steam Deck. So it would be very similar to the Switch or the Wii U. It would be very much, it would be a Wii U concept, but it would be a reward for those who have already been supporting Valve. So Valve, if you do hear this, that would be gangbusters. So I would also convince people that have the Steam Deck to then go and purchase that Cube maybe because why not, right? Because why not?
Mm-hmm.
So 4080 is Ti is 550.
Yeah.
So again, you put that, but here's the thing, you put that price at 700 and now you're getting something like that already because you have to remember the 4080 is 550, but you're already paying 12 to 1500 for a good PC. So there's that balance there.
Maybe a little less now.
Maybe a little less, but I think ballpark, if you want to have okay, but still, but in that range, you're still paying near that $1,000 range. So you're still looking at 1,500 with that card. So it's where the Cube is, you're not worried about that card because you have a fucking giant screen. Yeah. Right. So there is value to it.
And while the Cube itself is not like the pinnacle of tech,
it's gonna get better.
But it's still good for what you're getting and what you're able to run with it.
You can have your whole Steam library on there. Like that is wild, man.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So we actually have to get out of here. I appreciate that. Listen, we can go on forever with this stuff. We appreciate everyone that watched. Every Wednesday we are here live, 9 o'clock.
Alex is here at least.
I'm here every Wednesday. David's here every other Wednesday. We do our interviews with David every other Wednesday. I come on and Dave gets me a video to torture me. I think we're doing part 2 of the Nick Fuentes documentary this upcoming Wednesday. But you can also look forward to, like I said, I am trying to put out videos daily, shorts, and they're going to be on different topics from politics to sports to nerd stuff to all that type of stuff. So, I mean, I'm trying to bring a variety here. So if you subscribe to our Rumble and if you subscribe to our YouTube, you're going to be getting constant content, at least daily content coming to you. The videos are snippets, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 15 minutes. They're not long. They're usually on a topic. I'm reading an article, I'm ranting. So watching a video, I'm reacting. So you're going to be getting a whole bunch of stuff from us. So subscribing to us isn't going to be like an empty calorie where you're only getting once a week. Okay. We will be here. Dave will eventually do a video. So I appreciate everyone. David, Cole wants to know if you want to play Arma.
Not right now, but in the future, yes. I have to get Arma. I've actually never played Arma.
So you have to get there and get schooled.
Yes.
Caveat, see you for real this time. Nate, we didn't say hi to you before, but I saw you lurking around up there,
Yes.
Nate. We appreciate you as always, Nate. We appreciate anyone that commented, Mama Pillow, Felon Lawyer, Toxic Waltz, all the people that commented today from Ron's channel. We appreciate it. We appreciate Ron for coming on. And yes, we're gone this time.
Bye for real this time.
Bye for real, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a good one, y'all.